Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Blood of My Blood. We're here with Ghostlight RPGs. We are theater artists who are keeping the lights lit while theaters are dark by playing role-playing games. And I'll get that word for word one time, maybe. My name is Graham Ward. I am your dungeon master for this evening. This is a horror adventure that we run. We've got some friends gathered here for another episode of Blood of My Blood. We've got Justin Barron.
Hey, I'm Justin. I am playing Tiago, the Werekin cleric.
And Emma Carter.
Hi, my name is Emma. I play Adelaide, the half-elf warlock.
Jessica Jackson.
Hey, I'm Jess. I play Fernwig, the Daemon Dissenter psychic.
No one who's never played in Darkplane knows what any of that means.
Which is full
the fun of
Darkplane.
this. Yeah.
Yes.
Never go full Darkplane. I think that's called being a gibbering mouther. Okay, we've also got Ted Bushman.
I'm Ted Bushman. I play Briar, the human barbarian, which is the opposite of going full Darkplane.
And William Sinclair.
Yeah, my name is Will, and I'm playing Theodore, a human fighter. And I agree that sounds way less cool than Jax's thing.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us this evening, those watching at home, and all of you as players. It's going to be a very interesting night. I don't want to delay things too much, so we should probably get started. But before we do, I do want to mention a couple things. So we have several streams that people can watch during the week. And in the upcoming week, we are going to be having, I think, one more episode of Pitfalls and Ponies on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. And then after that, do we have a green room on Tuesday?
Yes, Green Room on Tuesday is going to be our the wrap up of our Pitfalls and Ponies episode.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So sort of do a discussion of that. And so once we finish this stream and then the remaining streams that we just mentioned, we're actually going to be dark for a week. So we will have nothing streaming the week following that Tuesday that's coming up. So enjoy your freedom from the dark plane. And then we'll be back with some other stuff. So we have some upcoming streams. We can talk about that maybe more a bit later. But on, let's see, on Friday the 9th of April, Ted Bushman is going to be running Fistful of Vengeance. And we won't tease too much about it right now, other than it is a one-shot. And Ted, do you want to say, like, system...
Yeah, so we're running Fistful of Darkness, which is a Blades in the Dark hack. It is a one-shot about a gang of lady outlaws taking vengeance on some old foe. It's gonna be a real good time if you tune
in. Too much twang.
Yeah, back off.
I'm really excited for that. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
so that'll be in this slot in 2 weeks from tonight.
That'll be fun.
We have some other stuff coming up, but we can announce more of that as we go. In the meantime, I also want to mention that we have a giveaway that we're doing tonight. So for all of you who have subscribed, and for those who want to subscribe tonight during our stream, we are going to be doing a random giveaway for one subscriber. So each person who has subscribed or gifted a subscription will have one entry, and we will randomly choose someone to be sent these lovely materials. You could say that they're my dark materials. This is the Darkplane campaign setting book. It's 250 pages. Let me do a little
it's
Vanna
so
White.
amazing. Yes, please, Vanna White it.
Look at that wonderful piece of artwork.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's a full color guide to the world. It's got options for various races, class options, system options, descriptions of the gods and the continents and all that stuff. So that was a Kickstarter exclusive. So there's literally nowhere you can get this anymore except by subscribing. So subscribe. The other thing that we'll be giving is the the Game Master screen that came with the Kickstarter. So it's got 3 panels of very Darkplane inspired artwork. I particularly like this one. Yeah, there it is. It's a little dark, plain.
It's a super dark plane.
So,
so cool.
anyway, it's got tabs that you can create your own notes and then put them in on the back of the screen, so you can kind of customize what's on the reverse side of it. And then we'll also be choosing a runner-up to also get a copy of the book. So, so 2 people will get a copy of the book, and then the winningest winner will also get the Game Master screen. And
Graham,
we'll announce those at the end of the stream.
If I may, real quick, just because I know I'm going to forget later. We just have to also mention that this is a promotion held entirely by Ghostlight RPGs. Twitch does not sponsor or endorse this promotion and is not responsible for it. So thank you very much.
I appreciate you saying those words that I did not
You're
memorize.
welcome.
Well, so thank you, really, truly, to all those who have subscribed. We've been kind of blown away by the amount of support, and so it's been a really rewarding thing. Thank you. Are there any other announcements or things people want to share before we get started? Okay. Was that a groan of fear?
No, I just wanted to mention that people are blowing up the chat right now with gifts, with gift subscriptions. So, happy Friday! Thank you all. Thank you. Who was doing it? Meeby and Nice Guy, Bad Gamer. Oh my gosh! Thank you guys. Love you.
Yep.
That's all.
We appreciate the support so much. Okay, well, let us now restrain our excitement and get a little bit focused on what is before us. The members of the family whose story we have been following during this adventure are in a place called the Hyorug, some strange realm that exists beyond the reality in the world that they understood. They were taken up into this enormous orb in the sky, moon-like, with its kind of luminescence. But once they arrived, they have found many disturbing things. And in those efforts, they freed about 80 people from these strange purple sacs, membranous sacs that were growing up out of the earth with blue veins feeding some kind of fluid into the people that were sitting within them. Tiago ran about this field and tore many of these open, brought the people out. The people seemed to be conscious, some of them in varying states of shock from having been released. And one of the people that was in one of those sacks was Briar, our player character. In the meantime, this crowd, this throng really, has gathered at the mouth of a canyon. Deep in that canyon, we know that there is an enormous, you could call it a marsh, made out of slime and bones. And we have also entered briefly the first layer of an enormous tower. It goes up and up and up, probably thousands of feet. It seems architecturally impossible how high this tower goes, but you entered the first level of it and found a shaft that led up several stories with no other way to scale. There were no stairs or doorways that you saw. You fought some strange fiends in there, flying fiends that threw barbs at you from their tails, and then retreated with Adelaide, having escaped her own confinement that was somewhere higher up in the tower. And that is where we will begin the session. You've had a little bit of time to recuperate, to get a head count, and have some discussion amongst yourselves. So the floor is yours.
Well, the last thing that Briar, that Selbi, not Selbi said, that Adelaide said to Briar the previous session was that she had killed Selbi, correct? That was the final word she said? Mm-hmm. I think directly after that moment, Briar is going to grab her by her clothes and attempt to like shove her against a wall. If you know, I mean, I don't know if I need to roll for that, but that would absolutely be his attempt, his immediate action.
That's somewhat up to Emma.
Yeah.
I think he can do that, yeah.
Okay, so I just like press against him. What do you mean? What do you mean you killed Selby?
I mean that when we were in the cargo of the ship, I put her out of her misery. But also, I may have exaggerated a bit about Marsus's indiscretions and intentions with her.
You're saying you lied to me?
Yes.
Why?
Because I wanted power. Why does everybody always talk about Selby? Everybody loves Selby. Selby this, Selby that. And at this point, Adelaide's going to resist. What makes Selby so great? What makes her so much better than me?
It's not a matter of comparison. This isn't some childish game. This is someone who is a member of our family, someone who mattered to us.
Someone who mattered to you. Oh, Briar, you always were so foolishly kind.
I thought that our love of the family was something that we all shared. Is it not? Is it not? He looks around at the rest of the group.
I think that Theodore, having been within earshot of that, like looking dead into Briar's face and saying, "And how is this any different than what you did?"
What, with Marsus? Well, I did it upon her recommendation, thinking that Selby was in danger, thinking that there was... Yes, I will admit it. I was possessive. I knew she was doubting about the family, and I didn't want her to leave. I wanted to protect her, but all I wanted was to protect her.
Face it, Briar, we all have blood on our hands.
As Briar has been railing longer and longer, his face is beginning to look gaunt, and his eyes sink deeper and deeper into their sockets, and his hair seems to have a golden tinge to it, and you see in his countenance the appearance of Marsus's aspect.
What?
There, this is it again.
You see it too.
I've seen this before. Briar, you are not yourself.
I don't know what it is you see. It must be... it must be this place. It must be... There is something wrong with all of us.
The only thing wrong here is what Mother has... We can still be a family if we pull together now.
Fernwig's
Tiago.
been
Oh, go ahead.
Fernwig's been crouched on the ground nearby, just running her hands through her hair, and she looks up and she says, "A family. Of all the horrible things Mother's done, the one thing she did right is she made us into a family. Because families, in my experience, hurt each other. And families lie to each other. And families rip each other apart at the seams. And isn't that what we're doing now? I don't know what's wrong with you, Briar. I don't know what's wrong with you, Adelaide. But I do know that Mother's at the source of it. And she's somewhere in this hellish place, and I, for one, would really like to have a conversation with her."
As would I.
As this wraps up, you suddenly hear a loud sound of someone vomiting. And you can hear, it's almost like a high-pitched spraying sound. And you look over, and the doctor, Hemalian, is doubled over and is vomiting a yellow bile. And unfortunately, with the way that Hemalian is missing a lower jaw, they have kind of a smaller mouth opening, and it's really not to get into too much detail, but they're struggling and kind of choking, and it's presenting a somewhat gruesome scene.
Tiago,
You can see now their whole body is kind of glowing this saturated golden color.
Tiago rushes to their side and holds them, trying to like maybe set them down. Feel them.
Make a medicine check.
8.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, you discover that there's very little you can do.
Can I?
As you're holding their shoulders, you feel your fingers kind of mush into the flesh of the shoulders, as if you're pressing into stale cheese.
No.
And they wince under your grasp.
No, it's okay, my friend. You're going to be okay. No. Can I? I'm gonna close my eyes, and like just holding them, kind of almost holding them close to me, hugging them in a way. Put my head on their shoulder, and can I? I'm gonna cast Lesser Restoration.
Oh, okay.
As a last ditch attempt here. I don't think meta game it's gonna do anything, but I think Tiago would try regardless.
Yeah, is there a prayer or something that you say?
Umhasa, please. The light is not yet ready for Hemalian yet, okay? You cannot take them. Not yet. Take me first, please.
You hear obstinate silence as your spell has no effect. After about 5 minutes, Hemalian stops vomiting, and you can see this bile that has settled into if you recall, the floor of this landscape is made out of this kind of red gelatinous grain that springs under your footsteps, and it's all just now trickled below that. You can see it's left a little bit of a golden stain on that earth, if that's what you would call it, but most of the liquid has seemed to absorb or trickle below.
Can I sign to them? Are they like in a place where they can see? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to sign to them. It's going to be okay.
I don't think that's true. This is it. You told me a bit about what happened to Selbi. This sounds exactly that. Am I not right?
Yes. You are right.
Well, then I'd better do as much as I can. I'm not gonna go quietly.
What can I do?
I will watch over these people. You go find Mother. And when you see her, tell her that I'm done with the lies. And you kill her for me.
I lean in and hold them, knowing this is the last time, and just whisper to them, when you awake in the next life, I'll see you there.
And they sign, I hope you do. But my faith is spent.
I walk away, back to the group.
Briar, I would like to sort of observe, the landscape. I have the sense that Mother must be in this tower, but I want to sort of observe the place around and see if that's a correct conclusion to have reached.
Sure. You had made a perception check before. Try again. Okay. I think it had been low, right? With little.
I think so. Yes. This is a 9, so still low.
Okay. Essentially, the tower is the only significant structure. So I think it's reasonable to think that if Mother is nearby, that's where she would be.
I don't
but of course, you
anything
can't
about
be sure.
it. course. Yeah. So how do we get up?
Yeah, as last time you were in there was a 20-foot rise from the floor up to a kind of balcony that was one level up. And you had seen crawling down after Adelaide were a number of these sticky, malformed faces that were kind of crawling like amoebas or slime down the walls toward the bottom. You imagine that some of them must have reached the bottom by this time.
I did hear some noise when I was in there above me. I'd forgotten until just this moment.
Yeah, there had been several loud blows of a horn of some kind. It stopped now.
Adelaide, you came down from there, yes?
Yes,
How did you do this?
I climbed down.
Okay. So we climb up.
I don't know if what I used to climb down will still be there, but we can try. Unless one of you knows how to fly.
Not me.
The ground begins to rumble. It starts off low and then gets louder and louder and louder. And you see suddenly a big, for lack of a better word, tongue of earth rises up from the center of this boiling lake of blood that is not far away. And you see that the blood splashes up in this enormous wave, crashes back down, and sprays the entire area where all of you and the 80 people are standing. I need all of you to make a dexterity saving throw. You see that, again, another roiling wave of this boiling blood is coming from the center of the lake, rushing toward you. Did anyone roll less than a 14? Okay, the two of you take 2 fire damage from the heat of the blood. And then you all have a chance to now react. I mean, it's clear that this wave of boiling blood is coming toward you.
We're getting in the tower.
Yeah.
Fernwig takes off toward the entrance of the tower. We're going back to the door that I reduced.
Yeah.
Same way we went. Okay.
Tiago follows.
Can you make this door big enough again to block the whatever's coming for us?
Yes.
You don't think you can?
Oh, I
Sorry.
don't think I can.
Not
I
to
do not.
contradict
No. Sure. Absolutely not.
It's basically the hinges broke when you reduced it. So
Yes, I can make it
not
big again, but it will not stay in place.
All right. So I'm just gonna wipe the blood away from my face and run inside.
After you.
Yep.
Okay, so you all take off running. The group of 80 people, some of them go in your direction, some of them run in other ways, and you see a group of maybe half of them just get overtaken as this enormous wall of blood spills over them, and they scream in anguish. And then you almost instantly see scalded, like lobster red forms bob up on the surface as they surely are dead. A number of them, though, are able to follow you, and you all make it into the base of the tower. You can see there's 20 feet that goes from the floor up to this balcony with no means to really climb up. Looking around the room, you see this time that the flesh, which I described, which is covering the architecture, it's got all of the signs of organic, like the idiosyncrasies of maybe not human, but of flesh. You see freckles, little hairs, things like that, and it seems to be stretched across, almost like wallpaper, around the bones of the building. And you can see that there's one area that in the fight got sliced, and it is partially open, and beneath it, in the bone that forms the interior architecture, is some kind of bas-relief. You see an image. Probably it reveals just this hooded face of a figure. The face is mostly shrouded, but it's like carved in like a bas-relief into this bone wall. But you'd have to peel back the skin.
And there's no sign of the figures that were descending following Adelaide?
So they have all been destroyed. You can see their bodies scattered around the floor.
Okay.
I'm sorry. You're talking about the sticky things.
Yes.
Yes. They seem to have congregated at the top of the balcony.
Great. I'll head to the bas-relief and start sort of like get my the butt of my axe in there and start just sort of ripping at this flesh and like go through these like shivers as I'm what feels like flesh tears beneath it.
Yeah, you pull it like a scab off the wall,
Mm-hmm.
and it does kind of spray this blood as it pulls. You feel yourself tearing whatever is holding the flesh onto the bone. And you go all the way around and actually pretty quickly are able to reveal this full bas-relief. What you see is that there are 6 images. So the one that's around the doorway is kind of twice as wide as the other images in the bas-relief. And then the one across the way is also similarly large. And those two depict an enormous kind of planetoid orb with stars around it, and it has the vague features of a face on it, kind of as if they're made out of land formations. You would take that as being a symbolic representation of the Hayorog, as you believe there's some kind of intelligence within the very orb or planet, if you want to call it that you're on. The one across the way shows a kind of undefined figure with tentacles, barbs, arms, and eyes popping out of it, which is tearing the sun in half. And Tiago, you would recognize that image as depicting the death of Som. Som is a deity who is considered the first creator, the mother of all existence. And she was, in the mythologies, killed by one of her sons. And it depends on which mythology you're reading, which son is kind of blamed for the death. But in this one, it seems to be depicting the god Damoth tearing the sun in half. Sun, S-U-N. He is the son of the sun. Sorry for that. The other 4 images seem to represent figures, possibly the sons of Damoth. You see one looks like a wounded soldier. You recognize the 7 wounds that were on the Atharmos soldiers. You see one is a hooded leper of some kind or otherwise diseased. One is a very scrawny, naked male figure with a bald head. And then the final image is, I guess, not one of the sons of Damoth, but rather the bride of Damoth, which is just this absolutely indescribable image of tentacles, eyes, mouths, without number.
With my knowledge of religious altars, things like that, would I get any sense of what is this? Just is it an altar, or is there something more to this?
Yeah, think of it like the immediate foyer of a cathedral, maybe. Yeah. That's kind of the way it would come across to you.
Kind of telling the story as you enter.
Mm-hmm. You imagine that there are more rooms that have more functions in this tower. It doesn't necessarily pinpoint what the function of the entire building is, but this room, at least, it's mostly decorative.
And and to be clear, there doesn't lead to any pathways. It's just
right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So it seems obvious that creatures are meant to enter here and then fly or be flown up the shaft to further rooms. Anyone have a way up?
Looking around, Tiago looks to the others. Okay, well, if it's skin, it can bleed, right?
Fernwig walks up to some of the discarded skin that Briar's cut, and she starts feeling it between her hands with the expertise of someone who's butchered a lot of animals. And she starts thinking, can we make this into some sort of rope? Will this hold?
Yeah. definitely.
And she kind of looks over at the others and says, "Have any of you ever braided rope before?"
I have.
Braided hair.
Close enough, Adelaide. And she takes out her dagger and she starts cutting these long strip things of skin into strips. And then she looks up at them and she's like, "Well, help." So she's
Tiago
cutting.
shifts into his hybrid form. And actually, can I leap up and try to like stab my claws into the skin and kind of climb the wall?
Yes, make your choice. You could do an athletics check with disadvantage, or you could make a melee attack with your claws.
Definitely the attack. 15?
Okay, yeah, Tiago gets up. So how tall are you?
In my hybrid form, I am 6'5".
Okay, and then your strength modifier is what?
0.
Okay.
I'm not very
so
strong. I'm a
that's
weak
okay.
wolf.
With your attack, you're able to jump up about 3 feet up. So you reach maybe 9-10 feet
Okay.
and claw in, and you're now hanging on the wall in whatever is left of that scabrous flesh.
Great. Yeah, I'm just
So
gonna
you've got another 10 feet to go.
climbing up to the platform. There's a platform, yeah.
Yeah. So now make an athletics check with disadvantage as you continue climbing. Meanwhile, Theodore, you looking out the door can see that the blood is coming in waves. It's not within so it was about, I think, 600 feet from the foot of the tower. It's now probably covered half the distance between you and the lake.
So at that, Theodore will turn and yell out, "Whatever we're doing, we'd better hurry this up." And we'll immediately come over and start helping Fernwig with the braiding of the skin.
That is a
Sort of
thing
in
I did
crude
not think
fashion.
would happen. Okay, so
Briar will join in as well to help.
go ahead and make one of you, whoever's sort of leading, with advantage, some kind of check. It's up to you if you want to do intelligence or you could do like a survival check.
I got a 13 on my athletics.
Okay. You barely make it another 5 feet. Still got 5 feet to go.
Okay. Roll again, or
You're doing the thing where you're like sliding down and then reaching back up.
gross. Roll again.
Yeah. And Emma, were you going to say something?
Nope. Adelaide's just gonna watch and braid flesh for
Okay.
now.
You wanted one of us to make an intelligence check?
Yeah. That works.
19.
Fernwig, do it.
It was, what was it again?
19.
19? Okay, so collectively, you're able, over the course of a few minutes, to hastily braid these strips of flesh and create a rope. Your rope is 30 feet long, so just enough that you could tie something heavy on the end and loop it over the balcony.
Fernwig, I want you to know that just because I lied to everybody doesn't mean I don't love this family. And Adelaide puts her hand on Fernwig's shoulder and casts, and a warm sensation comes out and glows a little bit as she casts a spell on Fernwig. And Fernwig will now be able to climb up the wall if she wants to with her rope.
Oh, is this
I cast
spider climb?
Spider climb. I was going to say something sooner, but I really liked what everyone was doing.
Fernwig looks at Adelaide just with this look of like just awe and how she never quite knows what Adelaide's going to do, and that's so thrilling to Fernwig. And so she gives Adelaide's hand a squeeze, and then she loops the end of the rope around herself and she begins to climb.
Okay, you can easily do it. So as Tiago is struggling to make it up the wall, Fernwig just climbs past you up onto the balcony. Fernwig, you can right away see that these poor unfortunate soul creatures that are lining the balcony are ready for you, and they're going to begin attacking. So let's roll initiative. I assume you'll kind of loop the rope around and drop it down for the others.
Yeah, I think the first thing I want to do is loop the rope around one of the parts of the balcony and then toss it off the edge, but also somewhere near Tiago, so he has an easier way for the rest of the way up.
Great.
So I don't know if I can do that before I'm attacked, but
Yeah, you can do that in the first round.
All right, sweet. Initiative 6.
I got a 2.
12 for Theodore.
8.
I got an 18.
Show off.
And what was Adelaide's?
8.
8. Great. Okay, Tiago's first.
Oh boy. Okay, so how many of these creatures are there?
At least a dozen. You need to finish climbing.
Yeah, I do.
You got 5 more feet left to climb, so go ahead and make your athletics check with disadvantage.
If I have the rope now, does that...
So I imagine that the rope comes down closer to the center of the room, whereas the walls that you're climbing are further out. Does that make sense? Because the balcony kind of overhangs a bit.
Yeah, no worries.
So you have to kind of pick which one you want to go on.
Well,
you're already almost there, so you might as well
almost
make
there. Well, disadvantage is a big disadvantage. Oh, I got it though. 14.
Okay, awesome. So with 10 feet of your movement, you grab the balcony, swing yourself around, and land beside Fernwig. You still have your action remaining. You see, about 18 of these things. They don't look large. They're maybe the size of a toddler, and they're made out of this kind of sludgy, sticky ichor. And their mouths kind of lop as they crawl toward you.
Okay, I am going to take a moment to center myself, and I will cast. I'll think in my head, Umhasa guide them, and cast Bless on Fernwig, Briar, and Theodore.
Okay, so Bless will add 1d4 every time you make an attack or saving throw, correct?
Ability check or saving throw. Let me double check that thing.
Might be all 3.
It is for attack or saving throw. You're right, not abilities.
Okay.
And that's it.
Excellent. Okay, so Tiago casts that prayer. The creatures are now going to go. So they roll toward you. Fernwig and Tiago are each going to take a few attacks. Five are going to get within reach of each of you. So that is against Tiago, the 5 attacks. What's your armor class?
16.
Okay, they all miss you. So you describe for us how you're fending them all off.
Well, like I said, I just kind of centered myself, so I think I'm just very aware. My ears perk up, and as I see them coming, I kind of swipe one, kind of shove one maybe towards another one to kind of parry with itself.
Sure.
Just kind of dancing around the platform here.
Great. And then, Fernwig, what's your armor class?
12.
Okay, so for you, it's going to be 4 hits. Each one is going to deal 3 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
So a total of 12.
What's it like when these things? I'm picturing the poor unfortunate souls.
They
What's it
basically
like when
they pull out like a pseudopod of their goo and then smack at your legs. Okay, that's their turn. They seem to be congregating, although you notice that there are many of these on the walls growing with this kind of blue veiny connections or tubes that are not moving. So some of them are moving like they've been activated, probably the ones that Adelaide climbed down and touched. And then it is Theodore's turn.
If there is no one there at the base of the rope, Theodore will head over and begin to climb to try and get up to Fernwig and Tiago as quickly as he can.
Great. Make an athletics check.
Ugh. That is going
You'll
to be...
You'll have advantage.
Oh, good. Oh, okay. So that's going to be a 22.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so hand over hand, using your knees and ankles, you climb up this fleshy rope, and you make it to the top of the balcony. That is going to be 40 feet, 30 feet of movement, so you'll make it up.
Okay.
And that'll be... let's see. Yeah, so with 40 feet, it'll take a dash, so you won't have an action remaining.
Sounds good.
Okay, Adelaide.
Can I just climb up behind Theodore?
Sure. Athletics check with advantage.
14 and a 4, so I'll take the 14 plus 1.
All right, you make it up as well with a dash as you climb. Back to Fernwig.
Okay. Fern, I can only cast shield as a reaction, right?
Yeah, so that's when something hits you.
Right, I was going to do it last time, but I didn't ask. Shoot. So, Fernwig is gonna take a chance. She's gonna try something. Want to try to cast minor illusion, or I want to cantrip minor illusion.
Okay.
Let's
What
see.
illusion did you have in mind?
So these things are on the balcony and they're within striking range, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have I seen the thing? I think I've had described to me the box that's in the chest that Theodore's carrying around, right?
Yeah. You would have seen him take it out of the chest, and then eventually he was holding it under his arm for a while, and then shoved it in his backpack.
So I create I'm like pressed up against the rail, and I create a minor illusion of this box teetering on the edge of the balcony, and then it tips and falls.
Ooh, okay. So
See if I can lure them away.
Theodore sees this.
He's gonna freak out.
What you quickly learn from your illusion is that these creatures are not really intelligent enough to grasp what that implies. Some of them, though, are distracted and stop advancing toward you.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I'd like to yell down, "Don't bother, it's an illusion!" And,
Very good.
so Theodore and Briar and Adelaide are confused. And then, no, I don't think I have any. I used my action. So.
Okay, Briar.
I'm looking around at all the, at the tide of blood coming towards us. I'm going to look up at this fleshy rope braid, breathe deeply, and just climb up.
Okay, make an athletics check with advantage.
Great. That will be a 14.
Okay, you climb up. Everyone did very well. So you're now all at the top of the balcony. It's back to Tiago's turn.
Real quick, taking in my surroundings, how many of these little creatures are next to, or like near me?
So like 15 to 20.
Within 5 feet?
Oh, within 5 feet of you, there are 5 that attacked you. More of them kind of advancing, but it looks like they'll be going toward your companions.
I will. Now, question for you. I want to cast Word of Radiance, but it says you utter a divine word, and I can only speak wolf language.
You can cast spells.
Okay, great. I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I will kind of stay where I'm at with these 5 around me. Try to get as many of them around me as I can, basically, and then I'll just blast of radiance shoots from around me. Constitution saving throw for all of them within 5 feet of me. Save of 13.
Okay. 2 of them succeed. The rest will take the damage.
All right, cool. It's gonna be 5 points of radiant damage.
Wow. Okay, so those 3 that take the damage just evaporate in the blast of radiant light.
Cool. And then, where's the next platform we need to get to from here?
So it's another 20 feet up. You could climb more of these sticky things on the wall. You also see in the room there is what looks like some kind of basin filled with red goo, and it is luminescent. Beside it is a mirror, one of these tall mirrors that you've seen people walk through now a couple times.
I don't have any idea what to do with that. I'm just going to try and, I'm going to roar and kind of draw attention to it, trying to get everybody else to notice what I'm looking at, because I don't know what the hell to do. That's my turn.
Okay. The creatures will now make some attacks. So 3 of them just died, which leaves enough to attack each of you 3 times. So we'll do 3 on each of you. Okay, against Tiago, you said your armor class was what?
16.
16, so 1 hits, dealing 3 bludgeoning damage. Against Adelaide, 15, does that hit?
Yep.
Okay, so 1 hit against you for 3. Against Fernwig, that's going to be 1 miss and 2 hits. So 6 total bludgeoning damage. Against Briar, 2 hits and a critical hit.
All right, bring it on.
Okay, the critical hit will only do 5 bludgeoning damage, and then the other 2 do 3 each.
Okay.
So total of 11.
Okay.
And then for Theodore, they will all miss. Or rather, you parry and block and, sidestep them expertly. It is now Theodore's turn.
Okay. Seeing Fernwig be struck several more times, is there any way that Theodore could move forward and position himself between Fernwig and the creatures to sort of, at the very least, pull their attention towards him? Okay, so
Yeah.
Okay. To whatever degree that's possible, Theodore will sort of lower his shoulder and sort of push forward. And if need to, I could bull rush some of them to kind of knock them backwards.
Yeah, you'd think based on what you've just watched Tiago do, you think your best defense is a good offense. So the best thing would be to kind of cut your way through and stand in front of.
So I will do just that. So Theodore will step forward in a slashing motion and an attempt to cut through whichever of these creatures is standing closest to him and between he and Fernwig.
Okay.
So that is going to be, and I get to add the blessing really quick. So that is going to be a total of 13 to hit.
Okay, that hits.
Okay. And that's going to be 8 slashing damage.
Okay, it is destroyed. You cleave it in twain. All right. Anything else?
That's it for me.
Adelaide.
Adelaide is going to look at the closest little creature face and hold up her palms and summon her energy and cast Eldritch Blast at it.
Excellent.
Quick question for you, Graham. In your game, is inspiration a reroll of the d20, or is it a roll d6 and add that to your roll?
It's a reroll of the d20. Yeah.
Okay.
Or, really, it's to give you advantage.
I'm going to save that just in case I rolled a 3.
Normally, you would
I
say it
miss.
before you do the roll, and then you
Okay.
roll with advantage.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So Adelaide misses.
Okay. They'll just blast this golden light hits the wall. Okay, next is Fernwig.
Do I have a clear path to this mirror and the basin that Tiago was trying to get us to look at?
So the creature that Theodore just killed gives you an opening to move. You do think that several of them will get opportunity attacks against you if you break away. You could disengage, but then you wouldn't make it all the way over to the mirror.
All right, and are there parts of the walls that don't have these creatures on it while am I still Spidey climby?
You're talking about the like immobile ones. There's enough space
Yeah.
that you could kind of weave between them and not touch them.
Yeah. Then, what I want to do, I'm gonna go ahead then, and I'm just like, that would be my action though if I run up and do that though, right?
So you disengage to prevent the
Yeah.
opportunity attacks, and then you would run along the wall, and you would make it, about 20 feet from the mirror.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, great. So you all watch as Fernwig crawls like a spider along the wall. Do you want to stay on the wall at the end of your turn?
Yeah,
Awesome.
putting distance between me and those things.
Very good. Okay. You're careful and quick enough that they are not able to attack you. Briar.
I'm going to strike at one of these guys. I'm going to hit him. I'm going to kill him. That's going to be a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And then it's going to be, it'll be 9 damage.
Okay, so as you bring your axe down on it, it just sprays this ichor around the room, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, Tiago.
Okay, so Tiago saw the mirror. How far am I from the mirror, though?
About 50 feet.
50. Okay.
Directly. But you're having to go around the central opening.
Okay.
So it'll be a dash to get there.
Yeah, my speed is 40, so yeah.
I mean, it depends on how close you want to get. If you want to get 10 feet away from it, that's pretty good.
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I would like to get as close as I can to it.
Okay. And then for your action, did you want to leave that open based on what you see, or?
Yeah, if I could.
So you're going to
Move
provoke the
first.
opportunity attacks.
Yes.
Okay, great. So that's 3 attacks. 1 hits for 3 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And then you sprint in your hybrid form around the balcony, and you are now 10 feet away from the mirror. Looking at the mirror, you see not the reflection of the room, but instead you see a reflection of sharp rocks, the very area that you were traveling through when you first came to consciousness in the Hayorug. These razor-sharp, rocky fields almost, and you recognize them right away.
And you said there was a basin of liquid next to it?
Yeah, big, like an urn, one of those grandiose urns, and it's filled with this kind of red goo that's roiling and churning. Bubbles are coming up to the surface and then bursting.
Okay, I will, I'm still concentrating on that. Looking around, does everybody seem like they're in okay, healthy spot? Looking at everybody. Okay, good. I'm just gonna hold an action, in case, because Fernwig's right there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna hold an action in case anything comes at Fernwig. I want to claw at it, out of the way, basically. So
Okay.
I just hold that.
Great. The enemies now start moving. Several of them are breaking off in the direction of the mirror, but they're far slower than you, so they're not going to come even close. Briar, this is 1 hit out of 3 for 3 bludgeoning. Theodore, 2 hits. What's your armor class, Theodore?
15.
Yeah, so 2 hits for 6 total. Adelaide, 1 hit for 3. Okay, Theodore.
Okay. And so, Theodore will continue to try and blend through these creatures that are in his immediate vicinity. And so slashing through with one motion through the first, he'll come back through on the second. That's going to be an 8. So 14. Yeah, 14 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, so that's going to be 6 slashing damage.
All right, it is destroyed.
Okay.
So, looking around the room, you can judge that there are 12 left.
12 left. Okay. I believe, so Theodore will be aware of the mirror, and that Theodore and will be working his way in that direction. I'm not going to disengage or try and break away, but any free movement I can use to sort of step forward and just slowly make progress in that direction. That's what Theodore's going to do.
Okay, yeah, kind of sidestepping them, making sure that you're not provoking anything. Okay.
Yep. And then other than that, that's it for Theodore.
Adelaide.
So for those of us with where Theodore is, how close are we to this mirror and this basin?
About 60 feet.
Is
It's
it
basically on the other side of the round room.
okay? And above us is where the creatures are coming from? Is it possible to keep climbing? Or
You could keep climbing, yes.
Does
The
the
rope,
rope-
though, would have to be untied, thrown up, or brought up by Fernwig or.
Okay. I think in that case, I'm gonna follow Theodore and try to do the same thing. I'm gonna roll again to try and hit them again with my Eldritch Blast and use my movement to travel with my companions. That is a 12 plus 6.
Okay, that'll hit.
Sorry, one moment.
No problem. These creatures are they're not really in any kind of formation, but they're surging forward, and Adelaide blasts one and then kind of scampers along.
I got a 5 for my
5
damage.
will destroy it. Okay, and then in order to get any reasonable distance, you would have to provoke an opportunity attack at that point. Do you want to, or do you want to sacrifice your speed so that you're defensive?
Sacrifice my speed.
Okay, so you're only really able to move about 5 feet closer.
Okay.
Okay, then it is Fernwig's turn again.
Fernwig is clinging to this wall, and she sees Tiago 10 feet away, and Fernwig's kind of breathing heavy, and she's upset. She knows she's taken more hits than is good news for her, and she doesn't want to keep having Tiago having to help her. It's this little point of pride that she's made it this far, she can do it. So she starts breathing in some of the death and decay of this place and begins to cast false life.
Great. So you get those temporary hit points.
Yep.
By the way, just a reminder for those who are blessed, don't forget you're adding a d4 to all of your attack rolls. Okay. So Fernwig casts false life, gaining a little bit of adrenaline maybe. And then is there anything else that you'd like to do?
How far am I from this mirror?
Like 20 feet.
I'm going to start making my way toward them. I'm going to get to that mirror.
Okay, yeah. So you crawl. You'll have to get down off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then you stand before it. The mirror and then this great urn that's filled with red goo. Looking into the mirror, you see the image is actually an area of flesh and bone that have been stretched up into this kind of scaffolding, like a city street or an avenue. Maybe you would recognize it from Tiago's description of his hallucinations. But it's a different view than Tiago is seeing in the mirror. And unless you have a bonus action you want to do, that'll be Briar's turn.
I do not have a bonus action I can do.
I'll make another strike at one of these creatures. That is a 26 to hit.
Yes.
Great. And that's 6 damage.
Okay. It gets splattered.
Get out of here.
There's now 10 left.
Yeah, I'm just still sitting here surrounded by these things. I'm gonna get these done.
Okay, Tiago.
Okay. Use my movement to get to the mirror.
Great. You're now right in front of it, right beside Fernwig.
Glancing around. Where is my team?
It sounds like Adelaide, Theodore, and Briar are still kind of stuck in the area that you just left. They started making their way in your direction. I think Theodore's the closest.
But they are on the balcony.
They're like on this level that you're on.
Yeah.
They're not like perched up on the railing in the balcony.
Sure. Sorry. Okay. Can I make any kind of check to see what this liquid is for?
Yeah, make your choice of a religion or an arcana check.
Okay, let's go religion. Come on, religion.
And are you focusing on the mirror or the goo?
The goo.
Okay.
The goo. I got an 18.
Okay, you believe that what you are looking at is an urn of sentient ooze, which in some places has been referred to as an oblex.
Okay.
As you're looking into it, a face appears in the surface of the goo and begins to emerge. It kind of like this puckering, and then an oblong head comes out, and forming out of this goo is a humanoid figure. And then the figure coalesces, takes color, and formed in front of you is the agent Corannus, member of the family whom you last saw on a lifeboat with Mother.
Just standing there.
Yeah, kind of like not levitating, but like standing on the goo. And then he steps down, and you can see long tendrils of this goo, almost like a hot glue gun making its trail, as he steps down and looks at you, and he says, "It's nice to see all of you again."
I wish I could talk. It's a bad decision.
Fernwig puts her hand on Tiago, just to steady herself, and she says, "Corannus, it is the greatest pleasure to see you two." I'm gonna try to
Don't lie.
yes and this.
You are disgusted with this form, but this form is but a means to an end. I had reason to communicate with you. I'm just so glad that you've made it this high. How much higher will you go, I wonder? Any other action for you, Tiago?
Man, I guess not. Just having some weird things happen.
Since you have your action remaining, you could revert to be able to speak. Go back to human form.
That's true.
That's up to you.
Let's do that, because I'm dying to talk stuff out, man. Okay, yeah, I'll shift. I think the shock kind of shifts me back into human form.
Yeah, you dwindle down to your human form, and you can now speak.
Corannus, what? I don't understand.
What is it that you're having a difficult time grasping? This new form I've taken?
This is you? All along?
Enough of me to count? I mean, after all, what are we but a collection of memories and opinions?
Help us. Help us.
No, I don't think I will. You now see below a wave of blood wash into the lower level of the tower and then kind of recede like a tide. And it is the enemy's turn. He doesn't seem to be taking any kind of aggressive posture. It's almost like he's gloating. These creatures are going to attack. 4 are going to attack Briar, and that's 2 hits for a total of 6. You're not raging, correct?
I had thought I was raging from before, from the end of the previous session. If that requires me having raged a second time, that's totally fine.
Okay,
But
great. No, that's fine. You can be raging. It would have expended a use, though.
Sure.
Yeah, because basically as soon as you spend a turn not attacking, which is like 6 seconds,
Sure.
the rage
Okay.
ends.
Great. Sounds good. So that means
So,
I've expended 2 of my rages. Great.
So what that means is the damage I've been feeding you should all be halved. So
I've
whatever.
been having it.
Great.
I've been treating as if I've been raging. I just forgot to tell you.
Perfect. So you only take. I said 1 hits, correct? Oh no, 2 hits.
2.
So
2. You said
you take
6 damage.
so 6 down to 3.
3. Yep. Great.
And then all of them miss Theodore as you continue to fend them off with your swordplay. All right. On that turn, however, Corannus will continue speaking, and he'll say, "Now you've come to it. The mystery of the mirror. What does it do? This will be enjoyable." And then it is Theodore's turn.
Okay, so how many of the creatures are like? So I know that there's still
10 of them
12,
left.
10 of them left. Okay, how is there still a cluster around me that's preventing me from being able to just take off?
3 of them are adjacent to you.
Okay. All right, so I'm just going to continue sort of blending my way through, and so just kind of sort of like expertly moving back and forth as he goes along. I am going to, so that's going to be a 17 to hit. Or that's going to be 11 damage.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and expend my bonus attack to continue and like push through and hit the next one immediately behind. And that one is, so that's only a 10 to hit.
That still hits.
Okay.
Easy targets.
Yep. 11 more damage as, you know, like with a flourish, Theodore sort of quickens his pace as he hears Corannus' voice and thinks to himself, I never much cared for Corannus to begin with, and is eager to make his way over there towards him.
Okay, so you carve through 2 of them, leaving 9. Is that right? No, sorry, that would leave 8. Because math. All right. And then it is Adelaide's turn.
Adelaide sees the wave come into the bottom level and then recede, and she's going to call to her companions, "We need to keep going higher!" And then she's going to release another Eldritch Blast at one of those creepy crawlies. That is an 18 plus 6.
Wow.
All right. And the damage is 7.
Okay, it's destroyed. Fernwig.
Fernwig looks at Corannus. She says, "Oh, a puzzle. A puzzle, is it?" And so she takes out her dagger and she makes like she's going to break the mirror with the butt of it and watches to see if Corannus has a reaction to that.
Oh, yeah. Right away, he kind of lurpily tries to step in front of your dagger.
Oh, I hate it when he's lurpy. Okay. Oh, and I said, so you don't want it to shatter, do you? And that's
he tries to make kind of a like a recovery face, and he says, "It doesn't matter to me. I only wish to watch your pain a little longer."
You haven't changed, she says to Corannus. And then she decides to take a chance and break it.
Okay, make an attack roll against the mirror.
Ooh, I might have done a very bad thing. Why not? Oh, okay. 7.
Okay, 7 to
Plus 7. Do I add anything to that?
hit. Whatever your attack bonus is with your dagger.
With my dagger. Oh, okay. 11.
Okay, 11 will do it. So you strike the glass, and it doesn't like completely shatter apart, but a big set of cracks goes across in that kind of spider web pattern. And the image in the mirror disappears. And Corannus wails for a moment as you see the tendrils that were connecting him back to the goo snap, and his body basically bursts in an explosion of ichor, and the goo kind of resettles like gelatin.
And Fernwig looks at Tiago to see what his reaction to this is.
I mean, that was... I should have done that. I guess that was good. Can we use these things to transport, though? That's the only reason I was... Do you think... It's too late now.
I don't... It's too late now, Tiago. But it had to have been good if Corannus didn't want us to do that.
You're right, yes.
Why does he want us farther up the tower? He seemed to be taunting us to see how high we could climb. Is it a trap? If he wants us there, then it can't be a good thing.
Mother brought us all here for some reason, and I don't think we have found out what that reason is yet. I think she still has something planned for us, but we cannot go down, so we must go higher.
Then we climb, my friend.
Okay. So you've taken an action. You do still have 30 feet of movement, including your spider climb ability.
I still have spider climb. Whew. All right. I'm gonna walk out toward the balcony and very carefully avoiding those things, those pods, begin the climb.
Great.
But I don't want to get too far from... I realize Fernwig has learned that going places by herself is often not the best course of action.
So with your spider climb speed, you're able to get up to the next level if you'd like to.
Okay, she gets up to the next level, is there another balcony?
Yes.
She kind of spider climbs under the balcony and kind of just her eyes kind of come above the balcony, and she just wants to get a little look to see what is there before she commits to getting on top of it.
As you peek, you see complete darkness. There's nothing that you can perceive up here. You don't see walls. It's like your head has been thrust into a cloud of perfect black.
And she curses. It's fine. And do I have enough? I can make it all fully onto that balcony?
Yeah, you could get up.
And so she
You'd be standing in the dark.
She's going to hang on to the outside of the balcony so she can still see down with everybody else. She's not going to commit to balcony yet.
Okay. Briar.
I'll strike at another one of the creatures close to me. I rolled a 22, and that'll be 14 damage. Or
Perfect.
Is that possible?
It's gone.
12, I think.
Okay.
And there's still more around me, so I'm just going to stay in my position facing them all.
Yep, 6 left. All right. Next is Tiago. The mirror shattered stands before you. This goo is still in the urn, and actually you can see another form kind of starting to rise.
I take the urn and try to flip it over off the balcony.
Okay, down into the blood.
Yeah.
Below the boiling blood. Okay,
yeah.
So it's pretty heavy. Make an athletics check.
Why do I do everything the wrong way?
Well, it's
16.
Okay, with 16, you're able to lift it and dump it out. You see this goo. It's almost like it's trying to cling to the urn, and it does eventually, like a yolk sliding out of an egg, splat onto the floor, and then you see a wave of blood wash over it, and when the blood washes away, the goo is no longer there.
Nice. I just yell after it. Hassa will cleanse the filth from this world of dreams, and then I will take a breath and try to follow Fernwig.
Okay, so with your movement, you don't have a rope or a way up, so you'll have to do another one of your athletics checks with disadvantage if you want to claw up the, or you could use your movement to go over to the rope.
Yeah, I have to go get the rope, I guess. I'm gonna run towards the rope.
Okay, yeah. So you make it to the rope.
Okay.
Now the enemies, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are going to 3 attack Briar, 3 attack Theodore. And that's going to be 1 hit on each of you for 3 bludgeoning damage. Briar half down to 1.
Great.
And now it's Theodore's turn.
Okay. So seeing that the mirror, what has transpired with the mirror and the figure being cast over, Theodore will turn, realizing that up is probably the only solution at this point, and will lurch forward in an attempt to stab at one more of these creatures. And that's going to be a 22 to hit for, that's going to be 10 slashing damage.
Okay, it's gone.
How many of them are there left total now?
5.
5 left. Awesome. Is there a clear path over to the wall, or are these creatures kind of congregated in my general area?
There are 2 more that might opportunity attack you. You've interpreted, though, that they're not very accurate with their
Not
attacks.
great at it? Okay.
So do you want to move to the wall?
I
guess
need to move
Tiago
back.
probably just reached the rope, you can see, and is kind of getting it ready, so that might be a thing you could...
Right, so that's what I'll move towards Tiago then.
Okay. So 2 attacks, 1 will hit for 3.
Okay.
Soaking up quite a bit of damage there. You're doing pretty well.
Hanging in
Adelaide.
there.
Graham, if I summon Silver, does Silver get her own turn, or is my action her turn?
Good question. Silver does get her own turn.
Okay.
Now she can only attack if you use her. You can use your reaction. Or sorry, you can have her use a reaction on her. Out of her actions, to attack in place of one of your attacks. And that's the only way that she can attack.
Okay.
But she would be able to like fly up, grab the rope.
Okay.
All that.
Cool. Adelaide looks up to the others and says, "A little help, please." And in that moment, summons Silver to help expedite this process.
Okay. Do you want her to go for the rope?
Yeah, I want her to throw the rope down to us.
Great. So you see this creature appear. Will you roll initiative for her?
Yeah. She got a 4.
Okay. So she'll go just before Briar. All right. How about any other movement for you?
I don't think so. I'm just trying to get to where the rope is going to be so we can grab it and probably get out of Theodore's way since he's coming back.
Yeah, you can reach the rope. All right, that brings us to Fernwig. You're poised at the top of the next level.
And I look down and then I look into the darkness and I reach out and try to see if there's anything in there that I can sense.
You do sense a mind. That mind is going to make a wisdom saving throw because it's not willing to contact with you. And it fails. So you push your way into this mind and make telepathic contact. What you feel is a fairly unintelligent but gruesome psyche. And you kind of rummage around for a second. What you feel is constant pain and hatred. You think that this creature is some kind of enemy that is hiding in the darkness. It hasn't made like an immediate move against you, but it's now aware that you've entered its mind.
And Fernwig then pulls back her contact, and she, realizing that she may have awakened this thing or alerted this thing to her presence, climbs down to just below the balcony, and and says to the others, can they hear me this far away?
Mm-hmm.
And I just say, we have a new beast in the darkness. This balcony, it's grotesque and full of hate. And she loses sort of the words to describe this thing. And then can I use the last bit of my turn to move into elder form?
Yeah, as a bonus action.
Yeah. And then she clinging to the sides of the wall, she seems to grow just a little bit taller, and her eyes light up.
Nice. Okay. Anyone proficient with history or religion would recognize that this is the form of the daemon.
They saw me on the boat.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. It is now Silver's turn. Silver's going to, according to instructions, grab the rope, untie it, and fly it up to beside Fernwig. And with a kind of haughty little expression, the cat tosses with her mouth, tosses the rope into your hands.
Cool.
Okay.
And Fernwig says, "Good kitty."
She goes, Briar's turn.
Just clearing, I guess, I am now the closest one to all of the little annoyances.
Yeah, there are 5 of them around you.
Little annoyances.
And how far am I? Basically, they're very slow, and so if I disengage from them, we can probably get out of the way before they can keep attacking.
Yeah,
Okay, then how far am I from the rope?
just 10 feet.
Okay, great. Well, then I will take an action to disengage, take 10 feet to get to the rope, and then climb up as far as I can. Is it secured?
I don't think so. I think Fernwig is just holding it.
Fernwig sees Briar thinking about this, and she says, "Hold on there, big boy."
All right. For seeing that it's not ready yet, I'll just, I'm pissed off, so I'm going to roll another attack, which I did here, which is a 28 to hit, and that's going to be, 11 damage.
Okay, only 4 left now.
Okay.
Tiago.
Am I close to Briar?
You're at the bottom of the rope, which is now stretched up to Fernwig.
Right, but I don't want to put weight on that if she hasn't secured it yet, right? So looking back to where Briar is with these 4 around him, could I get there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to rush over to him and say... One second. And I will say, "Be gone." Once again, radiant flames kind of trying to smash into all of those. That is a Constitution saving throw. Constitution saving throw.
So you can catch all of them but one, and they all fail, and are completely evaporated. So there's only one left.
Fantastic. If I have any movement left, I'll just rush back towards the rope, waiting with everybody else, and say, "Prepare yourselves. It sounds like something big is up there."
Okay, this lone demonic sticky thing strikes at Briar for 16 to hit. So that's 3, and it'll go down to 1. Okay, and it is now Theodore's turn. Before you go, Theodore, Fernwig, you hear this kind of scuttling in the darkness around you. You're not sure exactly where the person is, but you feel the movement kind of close at hand, and then you hear a voice say, "Is someone there?" And strangely, you recognize the voice of Selbi. Now it is Theodore's turn.
Okay. Were there any of those creatures left, or did we...
1 left.
1 left. Okay.
It's mine, don't get it.
Such a martyr.
I want to keep my rage.
Oh.
Okay. So, well, and to
If
be
you want
fair,
to, you could ready an action to climb up the rope once Fernwig has it secured, if that helps.
yeah. Well, and like hearing like everything sort of happening, yeah, like Theodore will make an attempt, especially knowing that Fernwig had taken, because she's up one level above us now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I didn't necessarily see her take that form yet.
You do see her hanging on the balcony, so she's just 20 feet above your head.
Okay, so she's hanging there. Okay, yeah. So I'll ready that action, knowing that, preparing to go up and assist her with what's occurring up there.
Okay, Adelaide, same thing.
Same thing.
Great, Fernwig.
Fernwig knows that this is not good, and so she, as silently as possible, climbs up to the outside of the balcony. And can I secure the rope, the skin rope?
Yeah. First of all, make a stealth check,
Ooh, okay.
just to represent how quietly you can.
How quietly
get up
I
there.
do. Okay. 40 plus 12. Not bad. Okay, 16.
Okay, good. Yeah, you feel that you've been pretty quiet. You're confident that you're not seen, and you tie the rope off. And now everyone who readied an action, Theodore and Adelaide, you can climb up. You can climb 15 feet climbing. So you can get halfway up the rope, and you'll have to do the rest of the climb on your turn. Okay. Anything else for Fernwig?
I heard Selbi, right?
Mm-hmm.
I reach out, and I just very gently on Briar's mind, I just go tap, tap to see if he'll answer.
And he'll hear it and sort of. Do I know where it's from? Can I feel it directionally or just?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has a certain Fernwig energy to it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Briar, prepare yourself. There's something up here that thinks she's Selbi.
All right. And he sort of shrugs Fernwig off.
Okay. What would you like Silver to do, Emma?
Can Silver investigate this darkness and show me? I want to see what they see or hear what they hear.
Perfect. So that would actually happen on your turn, but in the meantime, you can position Silver. You know that she has Devil's Sight, so she can see in darkness, even magical darkness. So she kind of poises up on the railing and gets ready for your eyes to look through hers. Is there any particular spot you want her to go? Do you want her to like fly into the chamber?
I don't want her to get close enough that she might provoke some sort of attack. I want her to
Sure.
stay safe distance.
Yeah, well, okay, great. Sounds good. So she'll go in a little bit because she can see. You can't see, but she knows what's safe at the moment. And then it is Briar's turn.
All right. I'm going to strike this final creature, which will be a... that's a 26 to hit, and then that's another 11 damage. So I'm just going to pound this thing, sort of step back from it, run up run the 10 feet to the rope, and then another 10 feet up because it's halved.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Perfect. Okay, the blessing of Umhasa guides your axe as you destroy the last of these gooey creatures. So the ones that are on the wall are completely immobile. There's no more threat from that area. You do see the blood again wash through the bottom layer and then recede again. And it is Tiago's turn. You've got 3 friends on the rope.
And then it's just me, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to... yeah, I'm gonna stay in human form. I will also grab onto the rope. Start climbing.
Great. So you can get 5 feet before Briar is in your way, and then if you want to ready an action to dash the rest once they're gone.
That's
Okay.
fine. Yeah, we'll do that.
In fact, you know what? We can leave initiative now because the enemies are gone.
For the record,
It isn't clear what's happening in this level above, so we'll exit initiative for the moment.
I think it's fair to say my bless is probably worn off too. I think we might just be about 10 rounds there, so it's a minute.
Okay, great.
Just so you know.
Okay, so as you all finish your climb, no check necessary in this case. You can make it up. How far into the darkness do you want to get? Essentially, to leave the rope, you'll each have to step into this complete dark. In the meantime, Adelaide, here's what you see. As you're hanging there on the rope, you switch your vision to Silver's, and you see an open chamber that is much, much wider on one side, the side that's opposite where the doorway was on the bottom level. So it seems to go deeper and deeper into this tower structure. You see concourses of gantries, balconies, and other walkways, and hanging off of the walls are hundreds and hundreds of mirrors. They're in rows and rows and rows, covering basically every surface of a massive chamber that rises up probably the rest of the 100 feet. You can see, basically you've got like a window into that area that could be walked through. Above you, the shaft continues up to the chamber where you escaped last session. But then this seems to be on the other side of the wall of that chamber that you were in. So it makes up the bulk of the tower.
There are mirrors in there. So many mirrors.
And then Silver's sight settles on a form that looks like Selbi. She's currently holding her knees with her arms crossed and is kind of like looking out, and you see her eyes are a bright yellow where they should be white around the pupils. And she is like looking through the room. You can see some kind of seam on her form starting just below the shoulders. That reminds you of where you watched Silver hungrily devour the top part of her body. It's not a seam in the sense that it's sewn. You just see like in her clothes, there's like a shelf almost. Like something's been placed on top.
Oh no.
What is it?
It's Selby.
Should
I think...
light it up?
Should you light it up?
Do we want to be able to see? Or
Oh!
let that draw attention?
I
don't know.
I don't know.
For those who strive towards it, the light will be known. I grab my holy symbol and cast light.
It casts no light. The darkness seems to overpower whatever spell you used.
Okay. I take it back.
You do see that there is a further chamber that goes up along this shaft that you've been climbing. And there's light up there, some dim light.
Do we keep going?
I've been up there. I haven't been through this passage. If you think that those mirrors could be helpful to us, then I say we go through here, but if not...
What mirrors?
I know I used a mirror to get down here. Wait, no, I did to get out of my room. And then get down here.
To be clear, we can't see anything, yeah? It's just
Right. As
silver.
soon as you would have gotten up onto that balcony, you wouldn't have seen anything. But you did hear Adelaide describe it.
Okay.
Even those with dark vision cannot perceive anything?
Right.
It's a big chamber full of mirrors. Hundreds of them.
Well, what do we do? We can't just stand here.
What do you see in the mirrors, Adelaide?
What does Silver see?
You would have to get closer to really get a close idea of what's in the reflections.
Can I send Silver deeper in to investigate?
Mm-hmm.
Adelaide's eyes are just like pure white right now. Silver vision.
Nice. Awesome.
Cool.
So Silver strides through the air directly over to one of the mirrors. You see what looks like a country cottage. And then
Well,
you look
that's
over
nice.
to another mirror and you see a darkened alley where two people are huddled for warmth. You see a snowy mountaintop in another. These seem to all be different places. And then you reach another section. There's some kind of divider, like a buttress that comes out, and Silver crosses over from that, and then begins to see what look like vague humanoid forms within mirrors. You think there are different sections of mirrors that have been focused for different purposes. Clearly, some are holding creatures within them, and others are doorways.
I see mirrors that are doorways to places that look normal, maybe our world, and I see people or creatures in other mirrors.
Can we use them to get back to our world?
Maybe.
What kind of places are you seeing? The
There's
places
a,
that look like that from our world.
there's a mountain in one. There's a cottage in another. There's an alleyway in a third.
Can I describe the cottage that I saw when I was inside the pod? Like as viscerally as I possibly can remember it.
Uh-huh. As you describe it, it matches exactly what Silver is seeing.
I'm not certain if those are escapes. Those might be places where people are being held prisoner. At least that's where I was temporarily.
Does Silver see the mansion where I was with Marcis and Etta?
After Silver's going to spend a few minutes looking for it. Not immediately, but she may find it in time. But while she's doing that, the voice of Selbi in the darkness says, "Hello? Briar, is that you?"
I'm going to say, what kind of spirit are you and what do you want from us?
I'm no spirit. It's me. And you hear the flap of feet, bare feet, striking the floor as she moves closer to you in the darkness. The rest of you, have you all climbed up? Okay, Theodore, just before you climb up, you peek down and you see that the boiling blood is now a good 5 feet above the floor of the lowest chamber.
So Theodore will pull himself up and look over to Adelaide and sort of dart back and forth with his eyes, not being able to register or focus anything, and say, "What's the holdup?"
We're trying to figure out if we should go up or through. Selby's in there.
The blood is following close behind, so I imagine we have another minute or two, perhaps a few more to make that decision, but the sooner we make it, I think the better off we're all going to be.
Where do we think Mother is?
Fernwig reaches out and tries to locate Mother 120 feet above.
You still don't sense any minds other than your friends and Selby and Silver.
And Selby, does Selby seem the same as the thing full of the unintelligent thing full of hatred? And I say, I can't find Mother. Briar, your instinct is right. This thing is not Selby.
I am, though. I want to talk to you.
Briar's going to spend all the energy he can to rip himself away from it and say, "Let's go up then. Let's go up now because I don't know how much longer I can resist this." And do we have to like take up the rope and throw it up again?
Yeah, depending on whether you want to use Silver, I guess.
Do I still have
Fernwig.
spider climb?
Yeah,
Spider
Fernwig
climb
can
lasts
it up.
an hour.
It lasts an hour. I might as well get all the spider climbs. Fernwig is kind of, when she hears we're going up, she kind of looks long. She can't see them, but she knows there's a whole thing full of mirrors back there. And she kind of sighs and she says, "I love breaking mirrors. I hate mirrors." And then, but she she unties the thing and the fleshy, skinny rope, and she whips it around her neck and she begins climbing.
Okay, you climb up 20 feet to the next level. These are all the levels that Adelaide very quickly passed down through, so you didn't take in much of what you see, but you climb out of the darkness and are able to secure the rope again on the balcony railing in one level above. The rest of you don't see, but you can kind of blindly feel until you grasp the bottom of that rope. While you're doing this, Selby is getting like very, very close to Briar. You can smell this horrid stench that reminds you of the room that she was in when she died. And you also feel more than hear a flapping sound every time she speaks. It's like something hanging off of a peg. And she says, Briar, why won't you listen to me? I'm here for you at last. We've lost so much time.
You never were. You never were. And he's just gonna, step away as quickly as he can to get away from this thing.
Okay. You all climb up. Silver, meanwhile, has found the image of the mansion that Adelaide was in her visions.
Okay. And can I do just one last perception check to make sure that there isn't something we're missing here? I got a nat 20.
Okay. So Silver takes in this whole view of all of these mirrors, and she sees many different types. It looks like there are further mirrors that are indeed set aside as gateways. You can see reflected in them many, many facets, as if fractured passages that with the right frame of mind or the right understanding of how these mirrors operate, that one could step through them. At the bottom of the tower, looking over these gantries and scaffolding that are around the mirror hangings, you see an enormous vat of some kind of putrescent slime, gray slime, which I don't think Adelaide has seen, but would match the description of what Theodore and Fernwig were traveling through. And bulging out of it, just sort of hovering in the air above it, with strings and like noodly tendrils dripping down, is a form that Silver and Adelaide cannot describe. It has like areas where you think, is that a head or a limb coming out? And then no, it changes into something surprising and shocking. Fans of like hairs, tendrils, faces that look again like an egg yolk sliding out of the shell, and it's dripping this kind of like pus, ichor, everything unimaginable. And as Adelaide sees this through Silver's eyes, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
I was gonna say, I think Adelaide screams. Okay, I rolled a 9 plus 3.
Okay.
12.
Here's the bad news. You gain a form of madness that is going to take a physical manifestation. So
Oh yeah, here we
also
go.
roll a D100.
Yes. 80? I don't... Graham, this is the D100, right? With like the percentages on it, like 50, 90?
Yeah. So if you roll that and then roll a D10 and add them together, that makes...
Okay, so AD1.
Okay. Adelaide is her eyes are white, looking through Silver's, and then suddenly they snap back into perspective. She screams, and as you all watch, her face stretches and her head kind of gets oblong and her cheeks sink in so deeply. She looks emaciated to the point that you're shocked she has survived what she just experienced. You're now all on this next level, having climbed up into the light, so you can see her. There's no like penalty in terms of your physical attributes. You just now look utterly emaciated in a way that is shocking to behold.
Briar just staggers back in horror at her appearance.
Adelaide, are you
I think she's still just screaming. and gasping.
Shh, it's okay.
Did you see something?
I don't know. I don't know what. We have to get away from here now.
You can see that the rope is moving as though something heavy is climbing up it. What would you like Silver to do? Silver's about 100 feet away from you, just within range, that you could call her back.
I want to call her back away from the thing that I saw.
Okay, so she comes flying through. As she comes up, she says, "Something's coming," and perches on your shoulder. Coming up out of the darkness, you see a hand that looks like Selby's hand, but through the tips of the fingers, you can see long, sharp bone protruding like a claw. And then she lifts her head into view, and what you see is the Hannibal Lecter skin draped over a head, and beneath it, these huge knife-like teeth jutting up from between the jowls that are flapping redly and dripping blood. And it says, "Briar, I want to speak to you."
Can I use Eyes of the Grave just to check if this is undead?
That's a good question. This is not strictly speaking undead. You believe that this is some kind of monstrosity made from her corpse that was transported here.
Okay.
Or at least part of her corpse, is being worn like a mask.
So a turn undead would not work on this.
Correct.
Okay.
I attempt to cut the rope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make an attack
I'm gonna make
roll.
a boom. All right. That's a. That's an 18.
Okay, you cut through the rope, rendering it useless, and you see the rope trail down into the darkness, and her yellow eyes glare up at you like orbs or the moon that you saw in the sky as she recedes from view and then is enveloped by the darkness, and you hear a splash.
Yeah, Briar probably falls to his knees and just shakes.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Uncontrollably yeah. That's a 4.
Okay. We roll a D
100.
100.
Yeah. Okay, that's an 18.
Okay. You retreat into your mind. You're paralyzed. And it lasts for a few minutes.
Okay.
Fortunately, there's no immediate threat to your safety other than this whatever thing Adelaide is referring to.
Yeah, I just fall to my knees and just don't move. Yeah.
Adelaide, where was this thing you saw? Where was it? Nearby?
She points into the darkness. In there. It was so awful.
Okay, looking around this layer that we're on now,
Mhm.
are there paths? Are there anything we haven't looked at yet?
Yeah, this room does have some doorways leading out of it, but before you look through those doorways, you see what look like some kind of devices around which are stretched a certain material. Think of like a mannequin or a shoehorn, but larger and more complicated. There are pieces that are clearly crafted in order to stretch a hide or stretch out cloth. And draped around it, you do see what looks like human skin. There is also a tank, which is made out of infernal iron, this very kind of red maroon iron color. It has a looking glass in the lid, but the lid is partially taken off with a hinge, so it's kind of hanging up in the air. And you could approach either of these things if you'd like.
This place is vile. As I walk towards the skin stretcher,
Okay.
looking at it, does it look like it's been used recently?
Yes. the skin that is stretched around it, it does have like a vaguely anthropomorphic form, and the skin is being held in place, and then you can see like a skate, like someone who would be working on a piece of machinery, that would roll on their back underneath it. The skate is just sort of lazily hanging there below, and looking at the skin, you kind of, with trepidation, look at the face, and through what remains of the hair and the facial expression, you believe that this is the skin of Mother.
I gasp. This cannot. This makes no sense.
What?
It's Mother. No, no.
That.
This. How? If Corannus was this sludge, is Mother sludge too? Have they always been this?
I don't know. Is Fernwig with us? Or is she up?
You're all there. Anyone who would like to examine it could do.
We're all on the upper lit balcony, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we're out of the
do like an
darkness.
investigation check, Arcana, if you think that there's some kind of weird, like dark magic at play.
I got a 9 on investigation.
Yeah, you're too taken aback by what you've seen.
I got a 9. I got a 14 on Arcana.
Okay, it does look like there is magic. The magic that you can read are infernal sigils that seem to communicate preservation of life. That when this skin was removed, magic was keeping the person alive.
But it no longer is. It's only when the skin was removed.
Right. So the skin is dead tissue, but whatever person had that skin on, presumably Mother, was magically kept alive while the skin was removed.
Tiago, I don't think you're wrong. This is what Mother used to be. This is her dead skin, her dead form, but something is still keeping her alive.
This is why she came here.
Which means we can still ask her questions. Maybe we can still make her pay for how she lied to us.
That monstrosity you saw, Adelaide. Could that be what she became?
Maybe. It was horrible. It was so horrible. And Mother is so horrible.
Thinking back.
Theodore,
go ahead, Theodore. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to double back to the edge of the cliff and peer over, and just as everyone is sort of coming to terms with everything, just sort of make sure that nothing is bubbling back out of that darkness that goes unnoticed. Okay.
Am I tall enough to look in the tank?
Mm-hmm.
Fernwig cautiously approaches the tank, and she's getting angrier too, because she wants to wring Mother's neck so badly. She wants these answers, and it's like seeing the skin there. She doesn't even know if Mother has a neck or a body to kill anymore, and it's just grating on her. And then she looks and she peers over into this tank.
Okay. Lying in the tank, in about 3 inches of strange gray slime, you see a corpse. The corpse is incredibly recognizable to you, and you stumble back for a second. Look back in. There, lying in the tank, is the porcelained face, dark-haired form of a woman who has had her heart cut out. And that woman is Adelaide.
So Fernwig gasps and stumbles back, and then she turns and she looks at Adelaide. And she doesn't quite know what to make of it.
What?
What is it you see?
Adelaide, I want you to sit down. just sit down. And she's backing away from Adelaide a little bit, and she reaches out with contact to Tiago and Theodore, and she says, Adelaide is in the tank, and she's preserved, and she's beautiful, and she no longer has a heart.
Adelaide.
What's going on?
What? I go look it for myself.
As does Theodore.
And
Adelaide,
Fernwig's,
go ahead.
yeah, Fernwig's moving toward Adelaide and trying to keep her from going to the tank. And she's saying, it's nothing. It's just gruesome. It's more of the same.
Is it Mother?
No, if it were that bitch, I'd be happy.
The others who look in see Adelaide's corpse.
Adelaide just like falls to her knees because she's still exhausted from that experience she had seeing that creature.
He said, you were the chosen successor, yes?
What?
Mother needed you to take her place, yeah?
To take her punishment.
Yes, that's what that creature said.
So, Adelaide, when we came to this place, the Hyorak, were you with us?
I woke up here.
You woke
Up
here?
there.
Fernwig says, shh, it's nothing to worry about. And she reaches out to Adelaide's mind, ostensibly to do something soothing, to soothe her a little bit. But she wants to see what's inside there and if it really is Adelaide. And this whole time, who has this person been?
Do you accept? Are you willing, Adelaide?
Yes, I am.
Shh.
While Fernwig is doing this, anyone looking around the room some more?
I'm still paralyzed, yes?
That'll wear off now.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
So you've had to helplessly watch everything unfold in front of you.
Yes, yeah. I'll stand up and sort of. Sorry, everyone. And I'm gonna look around and see what else I can see of the room.
Seeing what's in the tank, Theodore will hasten, beginning to look for a way to advance past this place.
Okay, you see two doorways, Theodore, that seem to lead onto ledges and balconies further into the tower. Based on the description, you would guess that those also go into this mirror chamber, which spans basically the height of the entire tower. Briar, you see a collection of pages, like parchment that's piled up, notes and diagrams. Meanwhile, Fernwig, you make contact with Adelaide's mind, and you sense that there is only one mind there, but it does not, for lack of a better word, smell like Adelaide.
And I just leave a little bit of I do another sort of shh. It's okay, we'll get out of this. And then I break contact, and does Adelaide look like she's gonna do anything right now? Or she's just still sunk
You've
sunk
got
to
control,
the ground?
Emma, so what is Adelaide doing?
I think she's still reeling from her experience, and her usual cockiness and attitude is just like poofed out of her.
I wanted to say that you think that she is susceptible to hypnosis. Not to jump the gun, but just to clarify.
Okay, so that mind that is in there would be possibly susceptible to hypnosis. Okay, I think I sort of leave Adelaide there. I'm going to be right back. I kind of walk over to Tiago, and I say, is he far enough away where we can have a private moment?
Sure.
I can pull him away and say, Tiago, this isn't Adelaide. Our Adelaide, the one who's with us. There's a mind in there, but it's not the one I remember. I'm afraid it's It's not Adelaide. I think it thinks it's Adelaide.
Yes.
But I think that woman in the tank is our Adelaide.
Can you check the rest of us?
Oh, well, I had tapped on all three of them recently with their mind, so I would know that if I hadn't contacted, it wasn't them. And
Yeah, they all have kind of normal.
I said, no, Tiago, I know the rest of you are you, but I hadn't contacted Adelaide until now, and it's not Adelaide.
Whatever it is, it is still with us.
Yes, and I think whatever it is, it still is under the illusion that it's Adelaide, and she's very scared right now.
Yes. We need to keep going. We just calm her. Just don't let her look in there. Just keep pushing forward. Yes? Theodore? What do you see over there?
Both of the doors, they most likely lead into the chamber that I don't know. If we go through this way, we'll be encountering whatever it is that caused whatever it was that was. Hell, none of this makes any sense.
Briar, how closely are you looking at those papers you found?
I would love to investigate them.
Okay, great. So as you look through, you see diagrams of a tank in which it looks like a humanoid form is being placed while the heart is removed. Yes. And that heart is then used as a material component in some kind of ritual where someone has their skin removed and then placed inside a copy, like a magical simulacrum or clone of the person whose heart was removed. And that heart is eaten, and then the person takes a new form, which is a replica of the body. So based on looking at those designs and some notes, the notes are actually all in the language that you speak, Arak.
Are they Mother's handwriting?
They are Corannus's handwriting.
So just to restate what you just explained, if I knew the identity of the person in the tank and its mother's skin that is there, if I was to see someone who looked like the person in the tank, that is likely Mother, because their skin has been removed, they have had the heart taken inside them. I'm going to, as soon as I understand this, look at Fernwig and say, who is in the tank?
Am I close enough to Briar to say this quietly enough?
You can do it telepathically.
I can do it telepathically, and I just look at him with sad eyes and I say, it's Adelaide. And so I want to look, now that I kind of understand sort of do I understand what Briar has just figured out?
You can communicate that.
I'm just going to look at Adelaide and say, Mother.
What about her?
And I'll explain what I've understood. Adelaide, if I am understanding what is going on here, there was a ritual, and your heart was removed, and Mother was.
No, it wasn't.
Look inside the tank, Adelaide, and I'm gonna go up to her and take her by the arm, not ungently, and if she consents, bring her up to the mouth of the tank.
Yeah, no, she goes and she looks into it and just is in shock.
Fernwig moves toward Adelaide and turns her around and says, Adelaide, do you remember the dessert I used to make?
What?
That you would always order another one, but you didn't like people to know that you ordered a second one. What was it?
It was the one with the cream and the cake. With the strawberries.
Yes, the strawberry shortcake. And so I then begin, I begin hypnosis. Now that I've
Okay.
gotten this sweeter memory in her mind, I've focused her on something else.
Are you allowing this to happen, Adelaide?
Yeah, I think she's too in shock to really fight anything right now.
Okay. So as Adelaide goes into a hypnotic trance, Fernwig is able to ask questions, and you can also use your telepathy to like dig a little bit and kind of discern things that are under the surface as well, emotions particularly. What you sense as soon as that hypnosis goes into effect is great disappointment and like avarice, just pure desire for something that does not belong to the mind that you are exploring.
Fernwig says, "Hello, Mother."
And out of Adelaide's mouth, you hear Mother's voice. It says, "Well, this is a surprise."
"What have you done?"
This was the end all along. I needed someone to take the penance, and Adelaide took it. And now she and I are one. We have all our memories, both of us, along 100 other lifetimes and 100 other families.
You used us?
Most assuredly. And I would do it again. My place here is now guaranteed. I am now offspring. I am blood of the great blood. Daughter of God.
Other families? Other lifetimes? What do you mean?
Look into the chamber beyond the gantries. See the mirrors of the lives I have absorbed. All those memories belong in me. All of us remember and feel. This form is not yet used to her new identity, but it will come with time. And then eventually we will act as one. I was not blessed, and Adelaide turns in her hypnotic trance and looks kind of sneeringly at Fernwig. I was not blessed to be some chosen messiah. I had to make my own way. You squandered your gifts, and I stole mine. And I would do it again, and I will.
Tiago's slowly walking toward her, with tears in his eyes. And kind of reaches out towards her face, like trying to kind of caress it.
And as you do this, suddenly this enormous roar emits from the chambers where you see the balconies leading off into the mirror, which is all in darkness. And an enormous rush of bile spills through those doorways. I need you all to make a Constitution saving throw as you're sprayed with this bile.
16.
8.
12.
7.
12.
7.
Okay, anyone less than a 16 is going to take some damage. You're going to take 10 acid damage. And I need you each to make a wisdom saving throw.
Only those who were damaged.
Yes, that's right.
18.
Wisdom, 16.
Okay, you succeed.
22.
22 succeeds.
7.
7. Okay, so Theodore, roll me a D100.
Can do. 13.
Okay. Low's good, right? Better than high.
Sure, what's the worst that could happen?
Well, yeah, I mean, I know what the worst that could happen is. Okay. Here we go. You said 13?
Yeah.
All right, so you exhale a putrid odor, and you can see this kind of gaseous bile emit from your mouth. That's the only immediate effect. You can feel something is wrong in the back of your throat, like your anatomy has changed or warped as you were squirted with this bile. You can now see a form moving through the large doorway, and you see the thing that Silver saw. Now, all of you with your waking eyes, this pustule-covered, anomalous contiguation of features with goo, ichor, trails of slime, and something that is a vague approximation of a mouth that opens up. And it says, "You all have been chosen. This place is now thine, and I am it." The mouth then curls in kind of a wicked sneer and says, "My body shall absorb you, and all that you are will be mine." Let's roll initiative.
Ooh.
Gosh.
And this thing is just coming out of the area with the mirrors?
Yeah, so
Is
out of
it
another
near the
area
mirror
of magical
still?
darkness.
Okay.
You
Do I
can't
get
see
to-
into where the mirrors are because of that darkness.
Do I get to roll initiative, Graham?
Yes.
I got a 20.
Do you end the hypnosis?
Yeah, I think my concentration has been thrown off.
When you end the hypnosis, she regains hit points.
Oh, cool.
Thank God.
You regain hit points equal to Fernwig's psychic level, so 4.
Cool. Thank you, Fernwig.
Woohoo. Bonus.
Okay, anyone get 20 or higher? Okay, how about 15 or higher?
18.
19.
19.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Who wants to go
15.
first? Before Tiago or Theodore?
Either.
Tiago was kind of in
I'll
the
go
middle
first.
of some action. So
Oh.
if you want to go first, Tiago.
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, I did get a 20. I got a 20.
Yay! Okay, great. So Adelaide will be first.
Am I aware of everything that just happened, the
You
conversation?
do not remember the hypnosis, no.
Okay. So I guess she just like snaps out of it and looks around and sees the creature again.
Yes.
So I'm touching your face.
Okay, and what was Fernwig's initiative?
15.
Okay, great. Okay, Adelaide, what would you like to do?
She's going to look around confused, and then when she sees the creature, I think she's just going to scream again and instinctively cast another spell. She's just going to pull her hands up kind of defensively towards her face, and she's going to she's going to ask Silver to attack it. She's going to defend herself and say, "No, get it away." Can I do that?
Yes. Yes, so you use the attack action. As her reaction, Silver will attack. Do you want to do a poison sting or her bite?
Yes, please.
Great.
And I still roll for that?
Yeah, you can roll for it.
13.
Okay, and then that'll add her bonus, right? Or do you have her stats there?
Is her stat the stat of an imp?
That's right.
Okay, then yes. 13 for the sting is +5.
Okay, yep, that hits.
All right, and then it's 1d4 +3. So 2 plus 3, 5, and it needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Wow. It rolled an 11. The creature is going to use a legendary resistance to automatically succeed.
Okay.
Does that make them take half the poison damage?
I think so. It says on a failed save or on a save, it's half as much. So
Okay, great.
that's 3d6. 3d6 poison damage. 3,
And then halved.
2, 3. Yes. So 4 total if you have it.
Okay. Excellent. 6 damage. That bite from Silver seems to hardly scratch the surface of this thing. You immediately are aware that this is probably an enemy beyond your capacity to defeat. So this is a figure out what to do other than fight. Now, someone could stay back and hold it off. I don't want to tell you what to do. But you're aware that this thing will destroy you if you stay with it. Okay, is that all for Adelaide?
She wants to move as far away from it as possible.
Okay, great. You can skirt around the other side of the shaft going downward. Make it about 50 feet away. Tiago.
Okay, Tiago sees Adelaide do that, and instantly takes in all of this, and he is going to shout, "We cannot stop it! Just run!" And I point down the hallway, I suppose, past it.
There were 2 doorways, so there's one that it's coming through and another one that you would be able to have access to.
Okay, yeah, the other one then. Point that direction. I shout, "Umhasa will guide you. Just go." Casting aid.
Okay.
2nd level. Let's see. Fernwig, Theodore, and Briar all get 5 temporary. Wait. Each target's hit point maximum and current hit points increase by 5 for 8 hours.
So you all gain 5 to your maximum hit points and your current. So you basically get the +5 to. They're not temporary. They're
all of us.
It's whoever.
3. I had to pick 3.
Does it restore our maximum +5?
It doesn't restore.
Okay,
Have the same amount of damage, but both the maximum and current will go up by 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your capacity to heal, if you heal, you can go up higher now than what your max used to be.
So really, I just get 5.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking of it. Okay, cool.
And then I want to rush toward this creature. And I will. Let's see. I want to grab Briar as I run past, and I pull him in, and I say, "You must kill her. You must kill her for Hemalian, for all of us. You cannot let her leave. You must do this." And then I push him towards the door. And I'm just going to go rush toward this monster.
Okay. At the end of your turn, you're within 5 feet of it. You can reach it, basically. So is that what you want to do?
Yep.
Okay, at the end of your turn, as a legendary action, you see this weird thing that's almost like a claw extend from it, reach up like a weird hinge, and then drape over your head. I need you to make another Constitution saving throw.
Nope. 5.
Okay, so you all watch as, like someone throwing clay, this strange claw dips onto Tiago's form and then mashes, and you're reminded of the devils that had the mashed faces. Tiago, roll a d100. You are poisoned. You gain 1 level of exhaustion, and you must repeat the saving throw at the start of each turn while it has you grappled.
Okay. 52.
Okay. As his flesh is being pressed like clay, his arms stretch out and kind of spontaneously mutate. His elbows disappear and become these long, slimy, tentacle-like arms that reach out 8 feet from his body. His hands are still intact on the ends of them, but you can see the skin is splitting and suckers are peeking out from his palms. Sorry, Tiago.
Am I still conscious of all of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You just have a level of exhaustion, you're poisoned, and you are grappled.
Okay. I just yelled, "Run!"
Theodore's turn.
Okay. So turning. So Briar, I see Tiago grab Briar. Turning, Adelaide and Fernwig, are they? I'm going to turn and like sort of try and grab whoever is closest to me and sort of move them in that general direction, knowing that time is of the essence and that if we stay here a second too long, then Tiago's sacrifice will be for nothing. And just immediately begin with the utmost haste, like hurtling whoever it is in that general direction, and sort of like turning and then trying to like move in that direction, but make sure that that this creature stays between me and whoever it is that I was able to get a hold of.
Okay, or rather, you're between them and the creature.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. So you can drag Adelaide and Briar or Fernwig. It's your choice. You can pick 2.
I'll grab Adelaide and Fernwig and move them in that direction.
Okay. You can push them 15 feet. Do you want to move along with them?
Yes, but
you're
still
between them and them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So that is your movement. What else would you like to do?
I'm not going to do anything more, but I am going to, as I'm doing that, I'm pulling the box out of the bag.
Okay.
That I've got with me.
Remove the ceramic box with a knob that must turn like a door handle. It has the face of a veiled woman on the front. And it is now Briar's turn.
I'm standing with the gate, the hallway behind me. If I'm understanding correctly, that leads into the room that's totally black, the place where we couldn't see.
And you understand that there are gantries and scaffolding that leads along these walls.
Rows of mirrors. And I'm looking at Tiago, who's just been snatched up by this thing.
And badly mutated.
Yes. I'm gonna walk my way back into that room, reaching out on the left to see if I can. I'm assuming it's on the left. Seeing if I can feel any of the mirrors, and every time I feel one, smash it with my axe.
Okay. Make an attack roll. You feel one.
Okay. That's a 15 to hit.
Okay, you strike the mirror. You hear a shatter, and suddenly around you there's a flapping of wings. And just in front of your face, you feel what seem like large birds just moving all around you that have seemed to have sprung out of the mirror.
Okay, I'm just standing there, sort of uncertain about that, but call back to Fernwig and Adelaide and say, these mirrors have something to do with her life, don't they? I don't know. I'm just staggering through.
Okay. Fernwig.
I've been pushed toward where Briar is, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Theodore's pushing us that way. I can't see in any of the mirrors, right?
How far are you going?
I'm trying to catch up to where Briar is.
Okay, you move forward through the darkness. You feel Briar. You still have some movement left. You could move past him if you wanted to dash as your action.
Do I know if I'll fall off a gantry or something?
You can feel that there's like a railing.
Okay,
so
so
you
I
wouldn't
get.
just walk straight off of it.
All right. So I get to the railing and I try to remember how Adelaide described this place, and I say to Briar, Briar, I think I can destroy many of these mirrors at once, but I still don't know what they are or what they do. Are they our way out, or are they Mother? Tell me what to do, Briar.
I wish I knew. I'm not sure. Could we attempt to, like, an insight or something, like some way to try and piece together our understanding of what we know so far?
Yeah, Fernwig, make an intelligence check.
Okay. 23.
Okay. Based on what you've seen, the mirrors either contain locations which are perhaps like a false dream state that someone is trapped in, similar to the location that Briar, the cottage that Briar was in. They might contain maybe memories of places. Then there are some that contain creatures, which are very clearly mirrors that trap life forms within them. And then there's a third category, which are mirrors that lead to places. And you would have to be able to examine and determine which one any given mirror is as you're looking at it. Based on what you see in the reflection, a mirror that traps you...
Right?
Not yet. A mirror that traps you forces you to make a wisdom save as soon as you look in it. So that's a pretty easy way to tell if you approach it. A mirror that contains memories is probably created more painstakingly by whoever is trapping that memory within it. And then a mirror that is a gateway will often have some kind of sigil that opens it up. And that would have to be known, or at least interpreted by the person who's examining the mirror.
Okay. I turn to Adelaide, who's next to me, and I say, Adelaide, your kitty, can you ask your cat to find us a mirror that goes to another place, a mirror that's a door? Ask your cat.
Adelaide wants to reach out telekinetically and ask Silver to come here and help them find a way out. And she just nods to Fernwig without saying anything.
Okay. Once we get to Silver's turn, and I again forgot to have Silver roll initiative. Do you mind rolling that, Emma? One more.
17.
Oh, great. One more
Nice.
insight, Fernwig, which is that if Mother was transferring her essence into a younger body, she would probably have a plan of how to get out. And so you could interpret that there would be a mirror for her to return to the world. If she's going to go and do this again with another family at some point, you can interpret that she would want to cross back into the world. So somewhere in this tower,
there's a mirror to get out to wherever Mother wanted to go. Fernwig has this realization, and then she curses herself because she hopes it's not the one she destroyed when Corannus was pissing her off.
Okay. It is now the creature's turn. So this horrible demonic thing that has grasped Tiago is going to wrap a chain around him. Now this is going to be a 13. Does that miss you?
It misses.
Okay. So it's going to use 2 more chain attacks. Only a 9. And then a 17.
That'll hit.
Okay, you take 20 piercing damage as these spiked chains wrap around you and begin to twist. And then
That's gonna put me out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. You are conscious. What is your last act before you go fall under?
I think Tiago starts to mutter, Amara, Fabian, forgive me. I can help others. I can help others.
And as the chains get tighter and tighter and tighter, they start to tear through his flesh, and he begins to lose his ability to speak as it wraps around his neck. And he passes out as he's uttering these words of repentance, I guess. And you all, those of you who are not in the darkness, so I guess just Adelaide and Theodore see this happen.
Wait, I think I'm with Fernwig.
Okay, I didn't know if you had stepped fully into the darkness yet.
Wherever
Yeah,
she is, I'm with her.
Okay. I think on your turn you hadn't moved in yet. It's now your turn, so now you can follow along where she moved on her turn.
Okay.
And step into the darkness.
Yeah.
Are you looking through Silver's eyes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, and I think it's an action. So you look through Silver's eyes, you can see this whole area. You realize that because you couldn't distinguish the magical darkness and the areas of light, that it's actually like a ring, and the center is lit.
Oh.
So you could, if you move far enough along these gantries toward the center of the complex, which is overlooking the vat of slime, you would emerge out of the magical darkness.
I want to grab Fernwig and Briar if they're close and try to lead them that way.
Great.
This way. There's light over here.
Okay, you make it out of the darkness. And so all three of you, as you're being led by Adelaide, about 15 feet forward, you step out onto a further inward part of the gantry. And you can now see this massive, it's like a column of what seems like dim light surrounded by complete darkness, in which you just see speckling stars that seem to be like moving and passing like the cosmos. The mirrors are the things that are shrouded in the darkness, unfortunately. So you will still probably be relying on Silver's sight to pick a mirror, but you think that Silver's strong enough to like lift one off the wall on her turn, if you wish it. Okay. But now I think all of you except for Theodore are on the gantries in the area that's visible. Tiago is being choked by chains, and Theodore is standing just on the edge of the darkness inside the room where that's happening. And it's your turn, Theodore.
How far away
I'm sorry,
is...
it's Tiago's turn first. Tiago, will you roll a death save?
Oh, yes.
2.
Okay, one failure. Go ahead, Theodore.
How far away is the creature?
15 to 30 feet.
15 to 30 feet. I'm going to back up as far as I can so that I'm standing just on the border between it and the darkness. And at this stage, Theodore is utterly confused. He didn't have the opportunity, like he doesn't know what everyone else has seen within the darkness. And at this point, there's this god-awful vapor that is just sort of coming up out of his mouth. And he is realizing that something has shifted, something has changed. He's going to look up at the creature, and he's going to yell at it, 23 expeditions, and not one of them has been successful. And he's going to put his hand on the box, on the knob on the box. And I'm going to ready an action, and depending on what the creature does or what Tiago does, I will react if it moves aggressively towards me, and attempt to buy Briar and the others a little bit more time, enough time to perhaps escape. Because Theodore is convinced that even if he were to escape, this is not going to end well for him.
Okay. So you've readied that action. Briar's turn. You're now standing in the illuminated area in the center of the mirror chamber.
And Silver hasn't had its chance to go.
Oh, yeah, Silver will be right after you at a 17.
Okay. Did she have a chance a previous turn? I'm just wondering if she's looked for the mirrors or found anything.
Not since they decided on that course of action.
I see. Okay. Can I observe the? So I'm hearing the noise from the other room and hearing like, I don't know if I've heard anything from Tiago,
Sure,
but I just
absolutely.
heard this. I heard this cry from Theodore as well, and Briar is just sitting here trying to keep it together. I'm going to look down at the vat below me and try to understand anything that I can about this room and its purpose.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Okay. That's going to be a. It's going to be an 11.
Okay, so the best you can interpret is that these gantries wrap in staggered levels, and there are stairs connecting them like fire escape stairs,
Sure.
ironwork staircases. You think that you could travel all around and finally reach what must be the pinnacle of the tower. It would probably take you, an hour to get up there, but it is possible to get up there. You believe the mirrors are all cloaked in darkness, probably to prevent things from looking in them while they're in storage, for lack of a better term. And then in terms of other things you perceive, this
the vat.
gray vat of ooze, it basically covers the entire floor plan of this part of the tower, which is probably like 2/3 of the tower's actual size. And it's just some kind of slime that is very similar to whatever is oozing out of that thing.
It was made out of that.
Possibly preserving it, or whatever its natural environment is that it lives in.
Yeah. I think Briar will say to Fernwig and Adelaide, if Silver can find that mirror and find a way out, then we have a way out. Let's make sure that it happens. And I'm going to step sort of right up against the edge of the darkness and ready my axe in case there's anything that comes through that might try to attack the others.
Excellent. All right, Silver's turn. What would you like her to do, Emma?
I would like to have Silver find a mirror that we can use to get out of here and show me how to get there. Or bring it to us. That would be better.
Great. Okay, she'll fly about. Go ahead and make a perception check with Silver's stats.
Okay. I rolled a 9 plus 3.
Okay.
12.
With a 12, she flies around. She sees a whole bunch of mirrors with a staggering array of images, hellscapes. You see cosmos, like wheeling stars and galaxies, things that you had never comprehended or even imagined in the past. You see an ocean. You see ships. You see all of these images, and with a 12, Silver is able to determine that she has found an area that looks on locations that can be traveled to, but none of these locations in that particular area are what looks like a natural world. You see an enormous, bulging, pus-filled wound coming up out of the earth. You see what look like stalks with eyes on them, kind of dipping down and scanning this barren hellscape. These all look like extra-dimensional places. So you'll have to keep searching next turn.
Adelaide's got the white eyes, and she's like, I haven't found it yet.
Okay, Fernwig's turn.
I say, there is no more time. And I look back, and could I hear Tiago's last words from where I was? And I was with bleary eyes. I look back at where he is gone and where Theodore is about to try to sacrifice himself to buy us more time. And I look at Adelaide and I say, Adelaide, it's okay. Stop trying. And then I reach Mother through him. I go in for hypnosis again as I lay my hand on her cheek to try to make it peaceful for Adelaide.
I think Adelaide does resist this slightly because she doesn't understand why this is happening. Do I roll something?
Yeah,
Relax.
you get a saving throw if you're not if you're not consenting. Do you want to, Fernwig, explain more of what
I want
you're...
to say, Adelaide, Adelaide, I need to look for something that's inside you. It won't hurt. I just need to look.
Okay. And she'll let her.
Okay, the hypnosis begins. Do you want to say anything before your turn ends?
I want to say, do I see in her face that I'm speaking to Mother now?
Yes.
Again, I say, speak truth to me. For the first time in your life, what was your end game? How were you going to get out? You stole yourself a pretty new body and you were going to take it out of here. Where do we get out?
The mirror lies at the top of the tower. Ascend the steps. Bring me home. There is nothing I would desire more.
I'll bring you home if you show me these steps. Where are the steps?
And Adelaide will start walking.
And I'm going to say to Briar, we have to follow her. And so I go after Adelaide / Mother.
Okay. So she'll start going toward these gantries that slowly go up. And you could, like I said, it'll probably take an hour or more to get up to the top.
That's a long time.
Can we dash away?
You sure can. We'll probably exit initiative order before you get much farther, but let's see what happens here. It is now the creature's turn. It is going to continue to warp Tiago's flesh as he unconsciously lies in its arms. So Tiago, you can make a Constitution saving throw with disadvantage because you are unconscious.
Six.
Okay. You take another level of exhaustion. That's 2. And then it seems to be holding you in this balance between life and death for whatever purpose. Go ahead and roll one more D100. And as he's doing this, it is lifting him, and it's kind of hovering and moving toward Theodore.
14.
14. Okay, your flesh begins to tear on your hands, and you can see where he had been sort of holding them in place as he was trying to get out of the chain. Your hands split, and similar to the creature that you saw below in Selby's skin, you see claws like bone spurs shoot out of the ends of his fingers, these 6-inch long bone claws that split out of your fingertips as your flesh continues to warp. It seems now like your arms have both bone and non-bone features. Very strange. Okay, then Theodore, the creature now comes within 10 feet of you. Okay. Would you like to trigger your action?
Yeah, so at that point, thinking to himself, I still don't know exactly what the hell's going to happen when I do this. He twists the knob and pulls open the chest, screaming at the creature. I have lost count of the number of men and women who have died under my command. This expedition will not be like the others, and I will not run from my destiny any longer. I am Theodore Wright, son of Robert Wright. My bloodline dies with me. With that, like, rips open the box and kind of flinches because there's still a part of him that's like, ugh!
There is an explosion of golden light. It bursts through the room, piercing through the magical darkness, and it covers an area of about 60 feet. So it'll more or less fill this circular balcony chamber and then go in 30 feet into the magical darkness, and it basically creates an area where that darkness dissipates. And now the rest of you can see mirrors lining the walls just in that corner of the tower. The yellow light is going to impose a Constitution saving throw on Theodore. I'm sorry, Charisma.
That is going to be a 10.
Okay, you too are poisoned as this light illuminates your body. Your entire body glows this saturated yellow-orange color. Your flesh begins very, very quickly to turn into like a stale cheese, crusty texture, and your eyes glow like beacons of golden light. Then I'm going to have you make one more. This one is the Constitution saving throw.
That's a natural one.
Okay, so you take 7 poison damage as you feel your blood begin to heat up and begin to boil in your veins.
Okay.
And then it is going to be Briar's turn. So Briar, you can now see a little bit.
Adelaide is ahead of me. Briar's going to just be thinking of all of these things, but thinking particularly of his mother, and going to think about the fact that the woman who was his mother, that he perceived as his mother, was someone who was stolen by something that ate people's lives again and again and again. Briar's going to, he knows where the top of the tower is. He knows that there are stairs. He's going to lift his axe, and he's going to strike Selby in the back of the neck.
Okay, make an attack roll.
16 to hit.
You
That
might have
hit.
said Selby instead of Adelaide,
I thought that I liked that.
but we know what you mean.
Dang it!
Freudian.
I did say
I
Selby.
know,
I'm
Freudian,
sorry.
For real.
I'm really sorry. Okay.
No, it's,
Yeah, that's a 16,
That hit.
and that's 10 damage.
okay. Did you rage first?
Yes, of course I did. So
so
that's
12.
12 damage.
How are you looking, Adelaide? Does that look like it wounded you?
Yes.
Okay. It is any movement for Briar?
I'm just gonna. If I strike her, I'm gonna. I think what I would like to do is incapacitate her and bring her to the edge of death, and then drag her up. You know, in case she needs to open some lock for us or something.
Okay.
Well, I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, she's not quite dead. So
Does this
Yeah,
break?
exactly.
Does this break hypnosis? Her taking this blow, is she Adelaide
might.
now
it might.
again?
Oh.
Give me 1
I
second.
mean, I
check
can try
that.
to hold on to it.
In the meantime, Briar, you're gonna basically like grab her and start moving forward.
That's my goal. Yes.
Okay.
If it's possible.
In the meantime, it's Silver's turn. Adelaide, how are you responding? I know that it's not quite your turn, but
I
what
mean,
your response is.
Silver is by the mirrors, isn't she? She's not
Mhm.
with us. So yeah, I think Silver feels that their master is hurt, and so she's probably gonna double back and come to me.
okay. Yep, she can reach you with her flight. She can't attack on her turn. It has to be a reaction based on Adelaide's command. So just fly over there.
Yeah, she's gonna fly over and she's going to at Briar and arch her back and just kind of like try to intimidate him. Magical cat style.
Okay. This does not end the hypnosis.
Oh, okay. So it's still Mother's
So
consciousness that we're talking to.
does Mother react?
She says, "Do not damage this body. You will never get out without me. You need the sigil."
And Fernwig says, Briar, we need her.
And fine, she's coming with us.
Make an insight check, Briar.
Okay. That's a 20.
Okay. She's lying. Because you do not need her. You remember very distinctly many times throughout your life, but especially recently in a flashback, that Mother told you that you were the key.
All right, then I'll just say that the throne. I'll say, fuck you, you bitch. You were lying. I am the key.
Okay. And anything else for Fernwig? I guess it's now Fernwig's turn.
Fernwig says, well then, I guess we don't need the bitch. Toss her. So it's my turn now. Okay. So I'm gonna ego whip her. I'm gonna ego whip Mother.
Okay.
Let's see.
This almost qualifies as PvP, right?
Yeah.
I'd say it qualifies.
Yes.
From Emma's perspective, sure.
I feel, but I'm very torn. But it's not Adelaide. It's not Adelaide. 15.
That
is
hits.
my. And so she reaches out, and she's Fernwig strikes at her mind, and she's heartened by the fact that the only mind she feels she has cut into is Mother's. And so then I roll 3 damage, 3 psychic damage.
Okay.
Are we waiting for something?
I'm just seeing if there's anything else Fernwig wants to do. You took 3 psychic damage.
Yeah, 3 psychic damage. And 8. Oh, I can't do any of that. I'm gonna no.
Okay.
I'm done with that. Sorry, I was waiting on
No
something.
problem.
I thought something was happening.
No, you're good. All right, it is Adelaide's turn.
Do I get it? Like, do I get to do something?
Oh yeah, you're hypnotized, so you're charmed by Fernwig, but that's the only effect.
Okay.
You're charmed by Fernwig. You can only speak the truth, and Mother is speaking through you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I control your actions.
Okay. So does Adelaide understand what's happening then?
That's somewhat up to you. I think if you want clarification from like a story perspective, I'm happy to give that. Otherwise, you can decide how Adelaide feels.
Well, I think that this is difficult. She just got whipped and axed by her companions, so I think on some level she feels betrayed, even though she knows she lied to them. So I think that I'm gonna hellish rebuke Briar as an impulse.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so that would be your reaction before your turn starts.
Okay, I haven't cast this one before.
Yeah, so he'll
I think that
gets a
Adelaide,
dexterity saving throw and then takes fire damage.
yeah, Adelaide points her finger, and it's both Adelaide and Mother, kind of, because Mother's still actively in control, and so she's using this power that Adelaide has. So it's really Mother who is doing this, I'm going to say, since we're inhabiting the same body. And she uses that reaction that Adelaide has to cast Hellish Rebuke on Briar, and she says, "You ungrateful bastard."
Nice. And orange flames burst out of her body and make a dex save, Briar.
That's a 5.
Okay, roll the damage.
All right, it says 2d10.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All of your spells are upgraded as a warlock, so it's actually 3d10.
Ooh.
Don't say that.
4, 8, 6.
Oh.
Okay, 18 fire damage, Briar.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just like consumed in flame. I'm not down, but I'm just like, yeah.
Okay. Now it's your
Charred.
actual turn, Adelaide.
Okay, so Mother's like, and then Adelaide's like, what's happening? What's happening? What did you do? What did you do to me?
You can feel blood on your back from where the axe struck.
Why?
Adelaide, you are already dead. We are trying to stop a great evil from entering into the world. I am so sorry.
She's trying to wrap her mind around this, and she looks at Fernwig for confirmation.
I still have hypnosis going, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, through that, I access one of Adelaide's memories, and it's I look around and it's the memory that she had when she was in a dream state, and the happy memory of when she was having tea with Etta and relishing the idea of making all the girls who were mean to her feel jealous of her, and she never felt more beautiful or powerful at that time, and I try to put that into the forefront of her mind.
Okay, that will have to wait to your turn.
Okay, never mind then.
No, it's great. It's great. But in the meantime, Adelaide, is there anything else you want to do before your turn's over?
Can I talk to Mother? Do I have that ability?
Adelaide, you are Mother.
That's so weird.
You are both. You cannot speak to yourself unless, but if you want any guidance from me on how that part of your personality is reacting, Mother wants to preserve the body because she has just gone through great pains to get this young, beautiful form, and it's already ruined and in the process of being killed.
I think Adelaide's just going to back away from both of them and try to put some distance between them because she senses that she is in danger, but also that they are in danger of her.
Okay.
And she just says, I don't want to hurt anybody.
Any opportunity attack from Briar?
Yes. That's a 20.
Yeah, that hits.
Yeah, and then that's going to be 9 damage with my rage.
Okay.
Then Adelaide goes down.
Are you hitting her with the back of the axe like you said to knock her out?
I'm killing her. I want to end Adelaide's suffering. I'm watching this person just like suffer in this state.
Okay. What do we see?
From me?
Yeah.
I mean, I try to strike at the nerves at the back of the neck. I don't want her to be in pain. I don't want her to suffer. Neither her, nor Mother, nor any of these other people. So I just like, boom, strike at the back of the head. It's probably this huge blow into the neck, and the body collapses.
There's a sickening crack, and Adelaide falls, dying. Are you okay, Emma?
Mm-hmm. I mean, no, I'm at -1 hit point.
I mean you as a player. Just want to check in. Oh, okay, great. It's important to check in. Okay. We've got safety tools in place. Use them if you need them. Let us go to Tiago's turn. Tiago, you're dying, so do you want to make a death saving throw?
Yeah. Is this number 3 or 2? This is number 3. No, 2. Wait. I don't know. Does it really matter?
You failed 1 so far.
Failed 1, okay. That is a success. I got a 12.
Okay, great. 1 and 1.
Great.
Theodore.
Okay. So, as this power consumes Theodore, and he's sort of struggling to sort of resist against it so that he can maintain whatever this is for as long as he possibly can, he is going to try and, draw from some sort of strength. And so I'm going to use the second wind to pull myself back up a little bit. So
Okay.
depending on how much I continue to take. And with that, I'm going to, now the box is open, I'm going to like drag my sword and move towards the creature and sort of with one hand bring the sword up and then put all of my weight and try and bury the sword into the front end of this creature.
Okay, make an attack.
That's going to be 9, 11, so 15 total.
That will, your sword sinks into it and seems to have no effect. It doesn't recoil or it just laughs. I am the Warden. You cannot hurt me.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, so Theodore, like, so as Theodore's sword sinks into the flesh and just kind of like he realizes that there's no like resistance and it's sort of getting pulled in. He thinks to himself, thinking back what happened to Selbi and realizing that he has unleashed that onto himself. Like as he's starting to kind of lose control of his thoughts, thinks that, well, if this thing absorbs me, then perhaps it'll absorb this sickness, and with that, I'm just gonna like press myself into this thing and see if I can't get it to absorb me.
Okay, at the end of your turn, it is going to envelop you a little bit. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. That is going to be a 6.
Okay, you take a level of exhaustion, you're poisoned, and roll a D100.
Oh, I just saw that.
72.
Okay, your body swells, suddenly almost like filling with bile. You grow 3 times your girth as your skin stretches against whatever is growing inside you. And it begins to tear, and that is the warping that happens to your flesh. All right, we will now move forward to Briar's turn.
Sorry, I probably didn't even hear this, but did it refer to itself as the warping? Is that what it called itself?
Warden.
The Warden. Okay. That's what I thought I heard. I wasn't sure. Briar immediately looks down at the body in just like complete shock. He's going to, completely in contradiction to his own motives, pick up the body and carry it and continue to run upwards towards the top of the tower.
Okay, her blood makes like music along the iron gantry as it trickles behind you. And I think we can probably move out of initiative order at this point, as Theodore and Tiago continue to be absorbed further and further into this thing. Their bodies twist, malform. The skin becomes leathery in other places, like a scaly hide, purple, magenta, deep blue. These strange colors burst across their forms, and they eventually freeze in this horrifying, grotesque pose as appendages of the Warden. And the mouth opens up, a nasty tongue swells out, and it has a hand on the end of it. And the hand kind of grabs a piece and like smooths down the skin as they are fully enveloped and wrapped in the chains and the anatomy of this creature. The rest of you dash up the gantries. It takes you about an hour. You're breathless. Go ahead and make athletics checks as you run.
3.
Fernwig and Briar, I guess, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
Yeah.
Fernwig and Briar and Adelaide / Mother's Body. Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
Not a great athletic.
Does she stabilize? Does Adelaide stabilize?
Do you want her to? Or do you want her dead?
Don't I get to make death saving throws?
Yeah, if you want to. I just didn't want to.
Or you can choose. You can just. Yeah.
Yeah, it's up to you, Emma.
I want to make death saving throws.
Okay, go ahead and make make 3, and we'll see how far that gets
Oh
us.
God. Okay. 4, 15, 20.
That's pretty
A
good.
natural 20?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you get up about a half hour, you each... Briar, what was your athletics check?
It was a 13.
Okay. Briar is okay. You're holding Adelaide's form. Fernwig takes a level of exhaustion as she's dashing up these stairs for 30 minutes. Suddenly, Briar, Adelaide stirs on your shoulder and it gives you a bit of a shock.
Oh my gosh.
She is conscious with 1 hit point. What do you want to do?
Oh my gosh.
Do you say anything or do anything?
Briar.
Adelaide, I'm so sorry. I'm taking us to the place where we can get out. I don't know if I can let you leave.
I'm so sorry that I lied to you.
I understand why you did it. I understand why Mother did all of this. I understand. We all want some control. We want some way to make sure that we won't just disappear.
I just wanted Marcus to love me the way that you loved Selby.
I'm sorry that things couldn't be as we wish. That sometimes in our efforts to make it so, we make the world worse. Is it alright if I keep carrying you up? I don't know if you'll be able to walk. You can if you want.
Is Mother inside me?
From everything I understand, is there any way I could evaluate if there's any way for Mother to be removed from inside her?
If there is, you have no idea how that
I mean, yeah, I mean, from what I see, I mean, it's been done. Okay.
Yeah, I see Briar struggling with it, and is there a way Fernwig can evaluate this?
Yeah, make an Arcana check.
18.
You do know that you don't possess them, but there are some very powerful telepaths who are able to perform what you would call psychic surgery and remove pieces of a consciousness from itself.
So I kneeled. I sort of look. I think I'm on the stairs with Briar, and I said, "Briar, there are those powerful enough to separate Mother from Adelaide. I am not powerful enough, but I don't know if we can risk Mother gaining full control before we're able to find one of these healers."
So she is inside me then?
Yes, Adelaide, she stole something from you. She stole your life, your form.
I was in the tank. I'm already dead. I don't want to be her.
But if we find someone who could do this, someone who could free you, then you would be you. And yes, it's dangerous. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. We need to get up there.
Adelaide, if you say the word, we will take you up there, and we will gamble. We will take the chance that we can find someone before Mother fully realizes what she came here to do.
Out of the darkness, just in the dim light in this column, you can see now the head of the Warden emerging forth, spitting and spewing bile. It's about 500 feet below, so just a small speck at this point. You look down kind of dizzyingly.
There's not much time, Adelaide.
Let's bring her up. Let's let her take her time to think. There's plenty of stairs left.
I nod, and we take back up. We go.
Yeah,
Okay.
Unless you were going to say something.
Unless, yeah, Adelaide.
I don't want to die here, but I also don't want to be her.
All right, so I have her onto my shoulder, and we continue heading up.
Okay, make athletics checks, Fernwig and Briar.
11.
11 plus. 11
And Fernwig, you'll have disadvantage on this from the level of exhaustion you took.
So I roll twice.
Yeah, and keep the
Okay.
lower roll.
Because I had a 12 and a 3. So
Okay,
the 5.
so Fernwig and Briar both take a level of exhaustion. Fernwig, this
Okay.
means that you now have disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws as well.
Okay.
And I just now have them on saving throws.
On attack roll, or sorry,
Attack.
ability checks.
Ability checks, great. Okay.
You, however, do go for 30 more minutes, and you make it up to the top as the head is coming within about 60 feet. You can see it's got this sort of plume of gas that is releasing from various orifices and parts of it that is following it like a pigpen trail or cloud. And it's zooming towards you as fast as it can. It says, "You shall not escape!" You have reached the very top platform of the gantry, which now looks down about 1,000 feet or more into the vile pit. And you see a single mirror, which seems to have been brought along a track of some kind and is hanging from like a hook right at the center of the top of the tower. And in that, you can see an image of Orokos. You see 4 towers with a waterfall falling between each, and as the 3 waterfalls fall down, they feed like a beautiful pool that is at the center of this gorgeous city. Almost, if you imagine like a terraced mountain city, like a Machu Picchu at its prime, but maybe a little more technologically advanced.
What can I observe about how to get through it, or what if I'm some key, what can I do?
Yeah. Are you stepping up to it?
Yes.
Okay, when you come within 10 feet, your entire body begins to glow in a sigil pattern. And you can see an intricate infernal sigil now gleaming on Briar's body, seemingly placed there and hidden by Mother earlier in his life. And you can trace its pattern and copy it onto the surface of the mirror, as Adelaide saw was done by the devil in the chamber where you were being kept last session. It's a unique symbol, so it would be different than the one you saw the devil use. Adelaide, you saw this happen before when the devil moved through it, so you might be able to offer a little bit of guidance.
You have to make that shape on the mirror. I saw them do it before. You have to do it, Briar.
I've put her down already. I'll say, have you made your choice, Adelaide?
I don't want to die here, but if I'd start to turn into her, I want you to stop me.
Is there any way we can know, Fernwig? Can you speak to Mother again? Not that she would tell us the truth anyway.
This thing is coming closer and closer. It's
Let's
now
get out of
Briar's-
here first.
What's your action, Briar?
Yeah, I'm gonna reach and begin to trace the symbol on the mirror with my hands.
Okay, in the time
As
that you
soon as
do
it's gonna
that,
start
it comes
killing me.
within 30 feet, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, all 3 of you, as you are sprayed with bile.
Okay.
$11.
14.
But I have disadvantage, right?
You do, Fernwig.
Oh, it's another. It's also 11 plus
A 24.
11.
Okay, Briar succeeds and manages to finish the sigil. As he does, the mirror turns into kind of like a liquid vertical surface, and you believe that you could step through it, as Adelaide saw was done before. Fernwig and Adelaide, you both failed. You each are going to take significant amount of acid damage. This is 35 acid damage. I think, Adelaide, that's going to kill you outright.
Yeah.
Your body corrodes, and you see pieces of Adelaide fall off and hit the gantry, and then slip through those the grooves and gaps between the iron, and just fall 1,000 feet down. Fernwig, are you also at 0 hit points?
Yeah, I had 14, so now I'm at 0.
What is your hit point maximum with? I guess what's your hit point maximum? It's
24.
Okay, this does not kill you outright. So you are at 0 hit points and making death saving throws. Briar, you finished the sigil. You still have movement. What would you like to do? You look back, you see Fernwig lying unconscious on the gantry beside you, and this thing emerging into view. If you don't use your movement here, it's going to reach you on its turn.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm in the moment that it happens, I'm looking at Adelaide and watching her just dissolve, in this moment before she could have made her decision. And I'm looking at Fernwig just, like melting into the acid. And I'm just going to, like, I don't know, do we have time to communicate? Does she say anything?
Adelaide, yeah, you can have some last words if you'd like.
Yeah, Adelaide or Fern, yeah.
Go. Go now!
Great.
Yeah. And does Fernwig say anything as she collapses, or?
Fernwig collapses to the ground, and as Fernwig collapses to the ground, she says, "You were the key for a reason. Make a good use of your life." And then just through the acid as it's burning her, and she just sort of like slumps over.
Briar is just going to fall into the mirror.
Okay. You feel yourself lying in a pool of water. You blink a bit, lift your head above the surface. You see eagles flying above you and a beautiful, mysterious jungle surrounding the city of Arokos. And you are lying in the central pool that lies at the foot of those 4 waterfalls or the 3 waterfalls that go between the 4 towers. There's no sign of any mirror that you've traveled through. You seem to have traveled through the reflection on the water's surface. And none of your companions are with you. You are the sole survivor of this journey into the Hyorug. And that is where our adventure will come to a conclusion. Let me go around and we'll do a little bit of an epilogue on each character. Let's start with Tiago. So, Tiago, you were strangled with chains and absorbed into this creature. That is, your body was. Tiago wakes up from what feels like a very long dream. And you find yourself in darkness, but not the malevolent darkness like you experienced in that horrible tower in hell. You feel soothed by this darkness, like it is cool and present. It's ready for you to enter it. And as you do, you find yourself moving among shifting forms, spirits, other spirits like you that are now in the afterlife, in the city of Ekmarai, the city of shadows, where you see a multitude of memories and visions, lifetimes pass before you. You watch, you enjoy them for the tragedies and for the joys and comedies of the lives of all of these people. And as this amazing experience washes over you, you eventually come face to face with a woman made of pure shadow. And she is sleeping as you approach a kind of bier on which she is lying. You see that her face is featureless, and she lies in a bed of lotus petals. And you are permitted to briefly look upon Hasa underneath the city of Ekmarai, where she dreams and contacts those who are also in the dream of life. But you, the spirit of Tiago, have woken up. Is there anything else you want to say or share with us?
Tiago is finally at peace. I think he has... He's resting now.
Great. Theodore, you wake up from the turmoil of your last moments and find yourself on a ship, sailing. No one else on board. Just you. The ship seems to be steering itself off into some adventurous horizon that is ever present but invisible to you. Anything else you want to share with us?
Nah, I mean, Theodore would will take deep comfort in that. This being the thing that connects him to his family, and this was meant to be the thing that was supposed to make his entire upbringing and his entire life to that point worth it, and it turned out not to be. So whatever lies on the horizon, hopefully that will be the thing that finally fulfills that.
Okay, Fernwig, you wake up. You are emerging into the light, and you are a young newborn baby. Parents put their hands around you, cradle you, wrap you in clean linen. They gently caress the strange birthmark that is on the crown of your head. And they look at you and they say, "My darling, you are perfection." It's up to you if you want to share anything else with us.
And the last little bits of Fernwig's mind as it starts to fade into the blurry, blissful nothingness of a newborn baby, just sort of this sigh of relief as she knows that she has another shot at all of this, and she's going to have to go through all of this again, but she knows in her heart as she kind of fades, as her consciousness fades, that when that dark herald comes to her again, when she's a child and asks what her path is going to be, that she's going to make the same choice she made last time.
Excellent. Thank you. And then Adelaide. Oh, Adelaide, you were dissolved into acid and dripped into the ooze. You experience nothing. It is up to you whether you want to narrate anything for us in terms of Adelaide's afterlife. I don't have any particular prearranged destiny for you. Do you have a thought about what Adelaide's afterlife is like?
I am not sure. I think that wherever she is, maybe even if it's just a moment in the ether after she dies, Mother and her look at one another, and Mother's just scowling and is like, "What did you do? You ruined everything." And she just smiles and says, "No, you did."
Beautiful. And then you drift off into whatever ether awaits the dead. Briar, do you want to give us a little epilogue?
Yeah, if I can get through it. Jeez.
Aww.
Briar wakes up in this pool of water in the city of Verokos, and it's soaking wet, and just staggers out of it into the city. And I think that the future for him is so uncertain that we can't get into it completely, but I think, or get a full sense of it. But I think in the couple of days after, whether he goes to pick up work or has enough money in his pockets to have lodging for the night, I think he does a few things. I think one of them is that he goes and finds some high place where he can look down at the docks and see the sailing ships and think of the expeditions of his friend Theodore, and sort of decide for himself once and for all that he is not going to hate boats forever, and that he's going to let himself go on, let himself see the romance that Theodore saw in ships. And I think he's also going to spend some time in a temple of Umhasa, and commit himself to at least dreaming a dream that's worth that's worth its dream. And then I think he'll go to a place where he can find strawberry shortcake and eat some of it. and then probably go and like ask if he can speak to the chef. And I don't know, it's like some old dude, and like he'll just hug him and just cry thinking about the other cook that he knew. But apart from that, I think I don't know what Briar does next. And I think that is like the biggest moment for him, is realizing he has absolutely no sense of what's next, because he built his life around this thing and it has now collapsed. And he realized how horrible its intention was. But the solace he takes is in the fact that he is free. And obviously there's this incredible guilt of, you know, the cost that it took to others, and how he feels like he is the last person that should have made it to this place. No question. And, but he, despite considering it, says to himself, that it would be the worst possible way to respond to it, to waste the opportunity he has. And so he, walks into the jungle one day, with his axe over his shoulder.
Okay. Well, thank you all so much for playing in this game. It was a really rewarding experience for me. Just such a joy to get to know your characters, to see you react to these absolutely unthinkable circumstances. I hope you all had as much fun as I did. And I'm sure we'll be playing again soon.
Indeed.
Thank you, Graham.
Yes, thank you, Graham.
Thank you.
Thank you, Graham.
So much.
You're welcome, and I'm sorry. I believe that we have winners selected for the drawing.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes, indeed, we do. Let me pull them up. We just drew them about half an hour ago here. Drum roll. Okay. Our runner-up, our second place winner is Sumkey. Congratulations, Sumkey!
Nice. Oh, that's exciting.
So Sumkey's getting the Darkplane book, yeah,
Yep.
and then the first place, which is the book and the
GM screen.
GM screen. Thank you. Is 22 Rick 22. Thank you, 22 Rick 22. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hope you both enjoy this. I think the best way is to get in contact with us at the Ghostlight RPG's email address.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
The email is actually ghostlightgamers@gmail.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Is that on the Twitch page?
I do
It
not
will
believe
be.
it is currently.
Okay. All right.
We'll put it there.
Yeah, so ghostlightgamers@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and email us and let us know like your name, and we can get in touch with you for information. I'll have it mailed to you as soon as possible. Congratulations. Yay.
Congrats.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And thank you so much to everybody who subscribed. It's just amazing to us that we've had the support we've got. So
Right.
thank you.
Agreed.
We wish we could send you all a little something.
Yes. You've all been fantastic. Thank you for, I mean, just speaking for Ghostlight here, Graham, taking it away from you for a moment. Thank you for being there, for supporting this show, and overall just the channel. This has been a huge success for us in so many different ways, and thank you for that. We're not done. We're far from done. So like Graham said at the top of the show, next Friday, the 2nd, we will be dark. We will not have a stream that night. However, the following week, April 9th, is again, what's it called again, Ted?
Fistful of Vengeance.
Fistful of Vengeance. So come join us for that. It's going to be an awesome one-shot, just a one-night event. And then following that, we're going to have some more stuff for you. So just be on the lookout on social media. We're going to be posting a bunch of new stuff that's coming. This next month is going to be full of new projects.
So exciting.
Yeah,
We hope
and
you'll stick around.
although we'll be dark for the week following these last episodes, those are the same 3 time slots that we're going to be. So
Yes.
so always feel free. You'll get notifications if you follow us, but also feel free to tune in Friday nights, Sunday mornings, and Tuesday nights, and you'll always find, other than that week that we're dark, you'll find great stuff streaming. So thanks a lot.
Yes. Anything else?
Just our raid, I think.
Our
that pretty
raid.
much wraps up Blood of My Blood.
Thank
so.
you all. We'll see you next time, and we're gonna raid. We're gonna raid Dork Tales, I think. So
Yeah,
we will
good.
do that in just a moment. So go support them.
Sounds right.
And we'll see y'all Sunday for Pitfalls and Ponies finale. And we'll see you back here in 2 weeks. All right. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.